this roster's done. And, you know, that's why a lot of people are watching it, and I'm really excited to see what he can do behind this team stepping into it. But Luminosity, a lot of pressure on their shoulders now. They don't want to go home early. They were confident coming into this event. They felt they were going to be able to have a strong showing against Bliss. Didn't go their way. Now it's recovery time.
Well, in Tier 1, they give off that new kids on the block vibe, right?
Yeah.
It's a very young side. They're very vocal. They're very confident in social media. You know, when they talk in public, they always big up their chances. They kind of lived off that underdog tag quite a bit, where they thought to themselves, you know, you think we're not great, we know we're good. But they find themselves in this matchup. Now, there is undoubtedly tons of talent on this roster, but there is nobody there with tons of experience. And straight off the bat,
that's trick.
Speaking of those, experience, look what's happened.
And so immediately what we saw is the two can openers are going to be basically null and void, his auto canister, and combination with that. Okay, whoever this is, asleep at the wheel, and that's a freebie. Right, Rubitic takes that one for free. Opening pick for Talon. Surf, just not aware, couldn't hear that, and that's going to be a freebie. No claim or no cover, no potential for that trade, so Talon get the opening pick on the defense here on Skyscraper, absolutely free, and Luminosity now have to work from that disadvantaged position against Misa on a clash as well, so you have that massive delay. We'll talk about the bans quickly while we have this downtime. It's going to be a Dokkaebi, Azami, Bandit, and Monty coming out, and you might look at this initially and go, Bandit's not a common one. Not too uncommon to see Talon do this on Skyscraper. Yeah,
it's not uncommon at all. Look, I think it's a pretty effective ban from them. But we'll get underway. You're seeing Sens use the utility to try to force their way through to blind that mirror to allow you to take some ground. Glaz will walk right up behind it, spots the silhouette, and oh no, Rubitic gets the second kill of the round for himself and for Talon. And for Luminosity, it was a great idea, the way they tried to clear that mirror window, but they lost their chance. Ryder will find another kill. Kixro finally will trade one back, but it's a 4 versus 2, and it's been an excellent start. And when Clash is still on the board, it's so oppressive.
I mean, we're going a second now for the player on Sens. This is going to be a bit issue now, though. You don't have the firepower to deal with that and the crossfires there. But I will actually draw quickly, before we do lose visual of it, it's going to be the lineup that we saw from the offense of Luminosity. It was going to be a Ying, Sens, Grim, Glaz. Very aggressive lineup that they wanted to implement. And it's fallen a little bit flat, and Talon just being able to get their opening pick and hold it from here. And this is what I like from this side of Talon. You know, you think about past iterations of teams from South Korea, they'd be super aggressive in this moment. They would be trying to get that final kill at every measure. There's no more troll time. Fabian has said, no, win the round, get that advantage, and you know, it might be boring, there might be 30 seconds of just waiting for the inevitable, but it's going to not risk that lose, so a very good risk mitigation and a good improvement that we're seeing from Talon.
Yeah, I think that Fabian will be very happy with what he's seen in this first round, but he will want to see it finish out for them. There's always a chance. Wi-Fi down to 25 HP, though you can see he's taking 5 damage a second. This is not looking great. 19 left on the clock. It'll be Talon taking the first round in this one as Misa gets it with the clash. But again, this is Luminosity. It's tons of talent, so much potential, but they don't have the old head, the experienced head that can go, okay, this isn't working, we're going to change things up. But let's not forget, they beat some very good teams on the qualification path for this event as well, and they deserve to be here, but they certainly don't want their time here to end in day one.
No, I mean, no one wants it to end at day one. Of course, you know, we have to talk about it.
The viewers do with us on the
Of course,
cast.
Yeah, they probably got a bit of relief. Corey was on the mic on the side. Don't know who that was. Whoever, if you heard that roar of players behind us, that was definitely loud from our perspective. But of course, you mentioned that, you know, we saw during the qualifier for EWC that we got victories. Actually, looking up ahead of me here over M80 and SSG, who are also here. Karn and Co as well fell victim to the run in this qualifier. So a big run from a lot of spots, and when you beat teams like this, high notoriety like SSG, you know, like M80, you're going to get a little bit of a target on your head for being the team in that spot. And I have to say, I want to see Luminosity find some success here, and hopefully they can get that one done. I believe this was their map choice as well, considering the clubhouse is where literally Talon live. They're on that massive streak regionally for it, so Luminosity want to see things from them. It does lean towards defense-favored maps, so expect Luminosity to get 2-3 rounds max here on their offense, and then come into life later on the second half after we've seen that first 6 rounds played.
I've just been told who that big roar was.
Who was it?
It was the Fresh and Friends rank stack. That's what it was.
Of course it was.
Fresh used cap can, of course, but it's
That's such a niche one to bring up in this game.
I mean, for people who don't know, if they ever watch qualifiers for other events, Fresh dominated Wolves. I'm just going to put that out there.
And you're saying that because Wolves lost on the other side of the matchup, of course.
Exactly. Everything comes full circle, right? But we're into round 2. Again, we're seeing the can openers being utilized here, both of them to open up that geisha wall, which they will do, which makes that position a little bit more difficult to play. So a better start to the round for Luminosity and the team that they have. Now, the lineup with it, you've got Deimos, they can activate that Death Mark to initiate 1v1 mode. The Capital was great at clearing space and creating space, but Osta doesn't play with, oh, never mind.
Okay,
never
so
mind.
what? Oh, right, Soldier has just found 2 with the shotgun. What does that come from? Luminosity yet again, first pick's going to go against them. Talon in a great position now. This is going to be the question. How do Talon deal with this early round advantage? Look how much time there is to work with. Oh, that's great from Wi-Fi. Finds Rumatic down below. Use that information perfectly. And that's going to be 1 back at least. And that's where, of course, that shotgun arrived. All the way on that staircase. And patience is going to be a virtue. And that's exactly what we see. Wi-Fi waits till that ping goes out. Soldier gets too aggressive and loses that fight. Luminosity, just like that, back in the round.
Yeah, big chance now, but you can see the smoke being used to buy time. Ryder will take down Wi-Fi, though, as we go back to a 3 versus 2. So, PSG Talon staying ahead in the numbers game. Now, there is a lot of information here for Luminosity. They've got the right operators to buy space, and getting that kill on the stairs allows Osa to begin pushing in now without worrying about the player on that shotgun.
Osa will use this as an incremental approach as well, being able to pick those shields up and swap them out and get more progression in towards that site, repelling all the way. That'll be a sound cue, they'll know what's coming out, but these smoke canisters will choke this one out. The Valkyrie camera gets that information. Surf does get one. Yas off the board. Luminosity in a good position to get this round. 45 seconds in the patience game. Talon, an area that they've needed to work on for a long, long time, is being patient in these moments. That's what they're doing. They don't peek out, they can't lose these gunfights. They don't take them, and Luminosity will try and take one. Misa finds Eddie, leaving us all down to a 2 versus 1. Surf, that power, 308 in his hands of Capital. What can he find? 25 seconds. Looking for something. An act of desperation, creeping below these head holes on that main wall. Gets caught, compromised, and peeked out by Ryder. Talon finding 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's an excellent start for the side. Now, remember, this is the opening map. It's on defense. A team taking a 2-0 lead here is no surprise whatsoever. But it's the structure that we're seeing so far. The kills, the double kill in that round was huge from Soldier as he was able to take that spot away. But with it, for Luminosity, we're seeing some nice things in when it comes to just straight-up gunfights. They're very good at these straight-up 1v1s.
That's going to be where I'm going to say that Luminosity really have to draw from. Okay, so first of all, storyline for this team is they've been playing inside of like kind of a tier 2 team, got their opportunity to go all the way up to tier 1, and they have that chemistry, they have that cohesion. They're all very talented players, and mechanics are going to be what they need to rely on here. The inexperience is going to be a massive factor for this. You know, it's a side that's not attended international events. It's an organization. You know, Luminosity have not been in an international event for a very, very long time, several years since they've been there. So for them, it's about playing to what their strengths are. I think they need to try and make this a scrappy matchup, which is easier said than done when you're up against Talon, who have become more and more regimented over time.
It's actually scary, though, how quickly just bringing Fabian as a head coach has turned this team into a team that's beating D+, that's qualifying out of that region. Like, it's scary that, you know, the impact that he's had in such a short period of time by implementing basics. Like, that was probably the key thing when he came in, was the basics. Do the basics right, and you will be difficult to beat, and you will beat teams. Any team that's worse than you, if you do the basics right, you will always beat them.
Trying to get that autograph, giving them all that praise. I know what you're trying to do there.
Nah. You're the one that was the G2 fan in the glory days.
Very keyword was now. Liquid all the way.
But honestly, for Luminosity, this is a big round, right? You don't want to let Talon go 3-0 up. You're on your attack. This is theme. This is a map where you can get success on the attacks, especially when you're pushing towards the kitchen side. One of the things I think will be key for them is establishing a little bit of verticality. Again, we're seeing Deimos be picked again, we're seeing Ying, but we need some impact from the Candels. Now, this player in particular, Ryder, inside of Geisha, is the perfect player to be targeting with those Candelas. Push in, clear the 6 map, take control of the hatch, and see how Talon react.
Eddie actually doesn't decide to commit to that. Retreats off that position, repels back down, wants to get some pressure on Kitchen. If he repels up, he's in danger of that Nitro cell that's primed and ready. Bravo drones caught and compromised, and this is what I want to talk about. Silent on that Deimos. Death mark's been sent out, trying to get that information. Has that 44 Vendetta in his hand and needs to make an impact, and well, can't false flat. Rubitek gets the opening pick, and Talon yet again, 3 rounds consecutively, get the opening kill, and that's going to be a problem now for Luminosity. They need to rely on that bounce back, and it's much easier said than done. First set of Candelas go out to try and blind this pressure inside of Geisha. A C4 tossed out as a precautionary tail to try and stop that aggression, and it does so. He retreats all the way, but look at this. Jackal creeping up from drum hallway. Do they know?
They need the next pick, but Kixro will get it, so it's a 4v4. But Misa's there instantly to trade it back. Rubitek gets another in what's been a great game so far. A triple. Soldier will close it out, and Talon 3-0 up. Now, I've seen this team. I've always been impressed by the players like Misa. But what a start Rubitek has had to the series.
Rubitek, I mean, that rookie player coming in, that new blood to this roster, and so far proving that it'd be a very invaluable asset. And Luminosity have called their tactical timeout. And you know what, Gibby? I think this is the right time to do it. These 3 rounds, I'm going to speak candidly, have been pretty rough. It's been basically all Talon so far. That's everything they've done. Luminosity, 3 rounds in, you've got time to make changes, so make them fast. And as they move into this next round, this is going to be very critical for them to convert that timeout into a victory.
But Talon are playing well.
Yeah,
like,
they are. I mean, of course.
It's not a case that LG are doing really silly things and throwing it away. No, just Talon are playing some very good Siege right now, particularly on the defense. And did I hear the desk say in the pregame that Rubitek was found and ranked?
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. I don't know how much of the desk you heard. You were stood yapping in the middle of the studio, the Fox.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I heard them say they found him in rank. Now, I'm not saying this is true. I could be completely misquoting this, but it would explain a lot as to why I've never been picked up.
The grin you just popped about, I can't handle that one. Yeah, of course you've not been picked up. 0.4 demon in the trenches.
LFT.
Had enough of me already.
Yeah. But as we move into this one, I think for Luminosity, they gotta use that timeout to talk. Like, I was talking to Corey about it. In the last game, we saw the players doing most of the talking about what's going wrong. This time around for Luminosity, it was the coach talking about all the, you know, maybe what he's seen that they're doing wrong. I feel like the lineups that they're taking are good if they're able to get that opening pick, but the problem is they're not getting the benefit out of the utility. Like, when have you seen Deimos get value? You've not seen the Candela causing as much chaos as they would like either.
One thing I'm going to look at this, Luminosity so far are playing very separate from each other. And Talon have played fantastic around the trading. Gibson's throwing me off behind the camera here. It's a nightmare dealing with him. But right, Talon have been playing very close-knit Siege. They've been playing for the trades. They've been playing a very fundamental game. Luminosity have been trying, I feel like they're playing a little bit more individualistic. They're trying to poke around the map and look for a weakness all by themselves, and they've not had that trade potential. And Talon getting the opening pick time and time again isn't being punished, or at least neutralized by the fact that Luminosity can trade it. So if Talon get that opening pick, they can run away and manage the game from an early stage. EMP goes go out, and well, much more effective than what we saw in the first round.
Yeah, this is where everything kind of went wrong in the first round when it got tricked on that wall. But once you get that wall open, it means that you close off or rotate for the defenders. You can't rotate through Shrine, down through Dragon, back in towards site without worrying about players on the balcony hold it. So Luminosity doing a much better job of putting themselves in positions where they can take advantage of the defenders. You can see the defensive silhouettes, though they're still playing very aggressive on the side of PSG Talon with their defense, with how far they've extended out across this map. Like, there's a minute and 10 seconds gone, and they're still battling on the opposite side of the top floor. Much better round from Luminosity. They've got significant amounts of map control, can put the site under pressure and beginning to force Talon to fall back from these key positions. So I like this from them. The cutoffs are being held to deny that rotation, but that hatch in Geisha allows that rotation from Kitchen. So again, great setup from Luminosity. Talon had the map ready for it, so they've rotated away. And what we've seen now is this has been neutralized. That roam presence from Talon is now no longer, it's null and void. Luminosity now need to spot that and take full advantage of it. And they might be able to do so here in Shrine. Bees go out, the hives are launched behind Statue, looking to find something. And well, Candelas go out as well. Luminosity are beginning to poise and posture up for that execution out towards site. Yeah, they know where the Valcam is too, so when you push in, that you've got to win that gunfight. But look at the aggression. They've taken full control now of Dragon. There's 55 seconds on the clock that they're able to work with. But look at those defensive positions to get a heads revealed, but beautiful shot from Misa as he finds one. There's two players, one prone with it as they hold that angle on the Dragon.
Misa with a 1x as well, finding that long distance shot. 40 seconds, Luminosity yet again, one player down. 4 rounds in a row, they've lost the opening pick, but Wi-Fi finds that trade. That's what they need. Rumatic gets in the action, Silence next to go. Candelas go out, and Luminosity need to make this one stick. This is their execution. They've got no other opportunity, so they dive on into sight. Can PSG Talon cope with it? Yes, they can. Misa finding 2. 20 seconds, pressure on the backs of Luminosity. Surf and Eddie, last 2 standing. Talon, though, patient, waiting, trying to wait and bait out a mistake. An aggressive peek, but oh, smoke, no! A must-win fight, but Eddie gets one on the rider. An opportunity, but only 7 seconds to work with, and I don't know what's going on. We lost our feed for a second. There it is. Triple zeros happened, and I believe server crash. Maybe.
If you're LG, you might be a bit annoyed about that, because there was definitely a chance to win that round. If you're Misa, you're like, I just got 2 ratty plays prone on the ground, and they've been taken away from me as well.
Someone just won a round.
Fresh again.
Stop it. Stop it. Okay, so what we've just seen is on an unfortunate server crash, so as we wait for things to get figured out on that side of stuff, let's just talk about the fact that Luminosity, 4 rounds in a row, they've lost that opening engagement. That needs to change.
The thing is, though, with that last round, even though they lost the opening pick, I think it was the best round that we've seen from them so far. They weren't giving away kills very early on. They were playing closer together. They were getting the opportunity to use their utility. We did see some unfortunate moments, that a little bit of a whiff that we saw on our player inside of bar, but it's okay. We move on with it. But I think that you could definitely see the impact that the timeout had on the way Luminosity played that last round.
Yeah, Luminosity played a much better round from beginning to end, basically. And here's the thing about that. It's going to be a what if, right? What if that round didn't crash out the server? What if we had this? Whatever. They still need to build on that, and they can look at that, however things go from this admin ruling. They'd be like, all right, we played better. Now, correct the opening pick. Maybe play a little bit more team-based siege. Get themselves closer together. Play more as a unit. Wolf pack around the map. And then maybe you won't get so much punished, as PSG always have someone ready for that trade. So that's what we need to see.
100%. Look, Fabian looked as happy as always, by the way. And I saw the PSG players weren't looking too happy either. I think they're still thinking about the Swedish food that Fabian made them eat on their boot camp.
I've seen that on socials. I've not watched it yet. So I'll next time I dabble over to the green room, I will do.
Yeah, and again, you got to give these guys credit too, because obviously the players don't speak English, and there's a translator there, and it's very important to make sure that nothing gets lost in translation when you're coaching a side like this too.
So the players will get themselves just composed in this moment. Of course, they can't converse with their coach at this, so it's going to be a little bit more of a mental reset for them. So, of course, we are only 1 of 3 streams running today. There's been action absolutely everywhere, of course, and you want to keep an eye on it. Follow, all your social media avenues to be able to find that. I think Esports World Cup on Twitter will have all the streams linked up for you. But we can have a little bit of rundown of what we've seen so far across our 2 groups. So, Group A, we've seen BDS versus Cruelty, a matchup that we were personally excited for. We were massive fans of LATAM region, and well, it didn't work out well. Cruelty did lose 7-4 towards BDS, who do look strong this event. We covered this game, of course, SSG versus W7M, an SSG that fell a little bit flat, in my opinion, against W7M, who looked to be very strong. Of the Bliss Luminosity game, again played inside of Group A, and it was a dominant performance from Bliss. He got that 7-3 victory against it. And then it was PSG versus Talon, PSG Talon versus Liquid. Liquid, 7-2 victory there. Looked strong, looked dominant going into it. And we've actually already played an upper bracket semi-final. BDS very quickly dispatching W7M in a 7-2 fashion.
Yeah, and I think BDS, though, you look at that roster, and there's a reason why most of the talent have them in that S-tier bracket, because of the amount of firepower they have with their history when they come here. They've won every tournament that they've ever played in this region. And then when you look at some of the other games, there's no real upsets that you can speak about so far. But
yes, there is. Yes, there is, actually, I'll have you know. Now, some people might not call it an upset as they've garnered a massive following. But over in Group B, earlier on today, Bleed get a 7-4 victory against Wolves. Now, Wolves, 2 new players coming in this side, but, Lesmo and Asa have looked fantastic during the qualifiers, and we got to cover them. But Bleed, 7-4 victory for that side. New coach, new player. Looked great so far.
It doesn't surprise me, though. Like, when you think about the talent that Bleed have, mechanically, they're some of the best players. Reaps is one of the most fun players to watch out there. He
one of the
is
best as well.
insane. So a result like that doesn't surprise me. I think as we get further in, these are the scary matches. Now, like, for those of you who might just be joining now, this is an elimination match. Both of these teams have been given keys, and the loser of this game, they lose their key, it gets put into the press, it either goes onto the trophy, or it goes onto the boulevard for all of eternity in a statue. Now, yeah, there's another round one in the background, but the big
I have a
thing
feeling
is,
that was Liquid winning. Just a suspicion. It
just a
sounded very...
suspicion. Could be Cruelty. They're playing now as well.
Although I know Liquid's on that side of the stage. That's where the sound
Oh,
came
you
from.
sneaked a peek.
Yes, of course it is.
Whippet is very... If you haven't followed the lore, he's a massive Liquid fan, which is fine.
So are you. Don't act like it's something...
I love how you get the abuse for it, though, and nobody says boo to me about it.
Well, it's my hill to die on, so...
But while we still wait for this pause to go, the other side of this Group A bracket will be the Team Bliss game against Team Liquid. Both of these sides beat the two that are playing right now. Bliss, of course, they've got a new coach in, and Titan, another player who came from that Fabian coaching tree. You know, he was with G2. I think Titan will have a great impact on that side, and that's a game that I think I'll actually want to watch back later, because that could be fun.
That will be, actually. You know what? That's going to be a good one. I have to say, a lot of these games, fantastic so far. I've been really impressed by the games that we've had. And I mean, you look at the rest of that bracket, we've seen Dark Zero. They're off to a fantastic start so far. A great performance against GK. They get that in a 7-4 fashion over in that Group B. We saw the Furia into ITB game. And, you know, ITB looking good this event. I think they're looking better than they did in Manchester. But Furia are a different beast when it came to that matchup.
Well, I did actually speak to Fleetbox after that game.
That is true.
And he said that he really respects ITB. He said they play a very good tactical game. And when you're getting compliments like that from, you know, an invincible IGL last year, that's a pretty good one to get. But it looks like the players are getting ready. What do you think is going through their minds after that last round? You know, particularly for Luminosity, who lost 3 rounds on the trot. They haven't got the opening pick yet. Anytime they do get a kill, it's instantly traded. It's bound to be a tough one to take, but you got to remind yourself it is a best of 3. Like, you can't afford to lose an opening map.
Yeah, that's true. You have that now in Luminosity's position. They don't want to lose this. It's their choice. They don't want to go to Clubhouse. We've seen regional domination from Talon over there on Clubhouse, but they're gonna look at this going, okay, we took our time out. We've played a better round. Tech issue. Now we've had time to mentally reset and get ourselves ready for that. Again, players can't talk to the coach. That's just the nature of this position. Fundamentally, they can think about what they've done right and how they can deal with that. Vice versa, PSG Talon can go, what did we do wrong? You know, and then they can amend that. But right now, this is a very interesting moment for these teams, because you're going to go from that action now to a very lonely, very tense, very nerve-wracking moment where you're just sat there kind of waiting to get back into it. And it's that anticipation of going back in can be a massive factor. And of course, players get hyped up to get ready to go into a game. You start that game, and now all of a sudden you have this massive dip in adrenaline. Kind of a test to get back up to speed. And for LG, I hope Luminosity can maybe be quicker to get back out of the gates very quickly here, because 3 rounds down, they want to get themselves level at bare minimum. That's all they can do on this opening half, get themselves level. Yeah,
and look, fear not, you're on attack on Theme Park. Or Theme Park?
Theme Park?
Skyscraper. I miss Theme Park. No, I don't actually. And that's
Gibson, you ready for this one? I want Theme Park back in the not the rank pool, the competitive.
But if I see that on ranked, I'm banning it.
Whoa! Excuse me.
Yes.
Out of all the TDM practice you've done down in Throne, you decide you're gonna ban that map?
Yeah, because it takes teamwork to win attacking rounds on Theme Park, and you and I have none of it.
Thought you were the best droner in the world.
Yeah, in the prep phase.
That's all you need. Yeah. Get that good information established. Yeah, but no, on Skyscraper, as you meant to say, not Theme Park. And it's going to be, you know, defense favored. That's just how it tends to play out. And I think for Luminosity, it's, as I mentioned on earlier games of the day, it's survival for them right now. It's just get through this opening 6 rounds, mitigate the damage best you can. You want to go ideally level if you can't lead.
And then you think about after this match, we're guaranteed to see Clubhouse as well. And as they spoke about on the desk, PSG's got an immaculate record on Clubhouse in their region. Now, you know what that means? Lots of tape for Luminosity to actually study. Now, the question is, when you're going to an event like this, how much time do you have to study every single team in the tournament?
You can just read the body language a little bit here of Luminosity, and it's
he's having a sleep.
I mean, yawns, tiredness. This is a difficult position, as I meant. You get so hyped up, you're ready for that game, and you have that spike of adrenaline. You get into it, and now it's flat. It's, you know, you have to try and conserve yourself best you can. Must be. Don't envy the player position.
Yeah, you do, because they don't really have to fill. They just get to sit there.
That is true. They get to sit there. We have to talk for however long we're gonna be.
But I think though, it's funny enough. You said to me that you think the PSG are going to win this whole series. It's something you said. I'm not going to say what scoreline you said it was, but I'm sure the NA fans who know how much you love NA will guess what scoreline you said.
I love North America. If I'm supporting SSG.
He does. He loves North America. But I think that this is going to be one of the tighter matchups in this whole bracket, because again, I feel like for LG, because it's such an inexperienced roster, they're still finding their feet on LAN. You know, some things are going to be more impactful in this scenario. Some things aren't. You know, there's a bit more added pressure. PSG, they've got way more they've got way more experience when it comes to this scenario. And what we're going to see, you're looking up the club championship stats again.
Are you looking at my monitor,
yeah,
Mr. Gibson?
I am. And for the viewers,
dare you?
For the viewers at home, if you're watching this, remember there is a club championship as well for the best esports team in the world, where they get a huge prize pool for that.
Actually taking my fill point. That was what I was going to talk about. Hence, I was on my. And
go for it. Go for it. Whip it. Take it away.
I was going to mention. Of
so
course,
guys at home, how you saw that?
You. Of course, all the teams here have earned a key, as you mentioned. If you lose, you get knocked out, you hand your key over to your opposition, it gets crushed and put as a monument of everyone who didn't make it towards that championship. But every single organization competing at the Esports World Cup is fighting to become the club champion at the end of it. And so far, it has been Team Falcons with domination. Now, inside of our game, Rainbow Six, they've not qualified for this. They did not make it. GK are the representatives from that MENA region. The only team, the only organization that has a chance of winning this that's inside of Rainbow Six is Team Liquid. They are in second place of the club championship right now. 1,170 points. They trail by a significant margin. Team Falcons hold 3,500 points, and they have 2 championship wins. They could need a championship win to be able to make that. But they're very close to be able to get that point. A win here inside of Siege gets them very close towards that, Gibby.
It does get them pretty close to that, but let's not rule out FaZe Clan as well. They're on that list. But folks, we are going to throw to a quick break whenever we're going to play some rock, paper, scissors as well. But we're going to throw to a quick break. Whenever we come back, we'll have the continuation of this game between LG and PSG. We'll see you guys shortly.
1, go.
Welcome back, everybody, and it's almost time to get back into this matchup between Luminosity and PSG Talon. I tell you what, we've seen 3 rounds play between these sides already. It's going to be a 3-0 lead held by Talon so far, and it's been a very difficult beginning of this matchup on Skyscraper for the North American side of Luminosity. Gibby, thoughts on what we've seen so far?
I think PSG have been playing, so PSG Talon have been playing some very good structured siege on the defense to get things up and running. They're playing the trade game very well. When they have to win their 1v1s, they're doing it. And I feel for LG, maybe some land jitters at the very start, you know, a little bit of nerves creeping through, but certainly that round before we had before the break was significantly better for them. And it is attack on a map like Skyscraper, so it's not the easiest map in the world to attack. So if you're an NA fan, if you're an LG fan, don't be too disheartened by the score. And of course, it's a best of 3 as well. And it looks like there was a ruling and Talon did win the 4th round.
So for everyone jumping back in this moment, that final round, before we went into that tech pause, had a very narrow margin. We only had like 4 seconds left. I believe it was a player count advantage for Talon. I don't believe Luminosity were in a position where they could have got the case down, or it was a questionable one. So the admin decision going into this was that Talon were going to be given the round and we're going to be restarting on the 5th, with the scoreline being a 4-0 advantage for Talon. So that's how things stand. And well, you know, for Luminosity, play to the whistle, I suppose.
Yeah, and you look at the defensive lineup. Now it's been brought Clash once more. We've seen Clash already in this matchup, and it'll be Nisa using that operator. And you know, the stat line says 0, but for those of you who are just joining in right now, Rumatic is having a brilliant game for PSG so far.
Rumatic has played fantastic so far. That, you know, fresh pickup, that new player into professional play, making a massive impact. Very mechanically sound as well. Now, we mentioned you dawned on that we had a Clash being played. Mace is going to be on that operator this time around, and we saw this on the very opening round of this matchup. And the big thing around this is if Talon can get the opening advantage, if they can find that opening pick, if they can draw from that, because that's where they've been fantastic so far, playing with that numerical advantage. And again, the team has got a lot more restraint. Fabian's been working on that with them on that regard. So for Luminosity, big question marks if they can get their opening pick, if they can deal it a bit better. And I want to see them wolf-packing around a little bit more, being able to play closer to each other to find that trait to mitigate the effect of the opening picks that Talon have been able to find.
Replay C4 as well. We saw at the start in the prep phase of that round with the Vault. It's something you got to be careful of, as we still have presence inside of Geisha. It's something we've seen several times already in this matchup. So we're almost a minute through the very first round of this one, and we've not really had an engagement to speak of just yet. Some pressure being put on the windows, which is something I think it's always a good thing to do, and Clash is going to lock down that entire balcony, and you don't move this Clash without a Cappy Tower, without anybody on the stairs.
Kaid's Electric Claw has been slowing this down, but they used that drone perfectly to spot that one out. They tossed it out, and, well, you have to be a little bit more accurate with them. Please hit. I hope that hit. I don't think it did. Nope.
They've had a bit of trouble with those impact EMPs so far.
Right, here's the thing, right? They had the drone, they spotted it, and you know you have to be accurate with it. Now, they use a great amount of utility down below Deimos. With that, Death Mark is going to be able to find Soldier with the assist of the Capitao. So, job is done. You've got Geisha control. That wall didn't get opened up, but still, that utility usage driving me a little bit insane, Gibby, can't lie.
Yeah, but they've got the opening kill for the very first time in this matchup between the two sides. We've got ourselves a 1v1 going on with the Grim. It's very oppressive here for Ryder inside this position with the information they have, but still on their feet, still playing on these restaurant stairs. Another nade's going to get tossed, but you can't cook them, so there's the impact that's going to have. A minute left, And there's a kill. Misa trades it back. Clash getting one.
You dump so much utility on that player on kitchen stairs, though. You've got that Deimos death mark on them, a Grim Beast on that staircase. No one's there to capitalize on that push. The nade buys you space, but you can't push behind that yourself. And if they retreat away, you can't keep that control. So there was no one there for Luminosity to take advantage of a massive commitment of utility for it. And we'll see that second fire dart used away now. So again, limited utility now with Luminosity with 35 seconds still remaining in this round. They've burnt through the Capital utility, and now they're trying to make it kind of a very rushed attack. Now they have to get this control with the ends of their rifle, and that's not going to be an easy job. If Talon have been firing back, the clash will be an issue to solve, and well, Ryder's going to present himself as a problem, finding one. Maybe he's on a 4 versus 3. Surf's good to make it level. Now an advantage, finding 2 on Black Staircase, and with 3 with 15 seconds left, it's going to be a mess, and Luminosity are on the cusp of getting their very first round here, but with 9 seconds remaining, 000's dawning, cover needs to be perfect. It's going to be Misa on that clash, but no, Luminosity get themselves their opening round, and that's what this team needs.
They get off the board, they got the opening pick, they take the round win. It's so much better. They used so much utility in that round. It almost seemed as if every single thing that they had in their pocket, they needed it to get that round one. Yes, we had that little moment with Valk on the stairs where a lot of utility was wasted, but everything else they used successfully, and that is so good for them. That's what they needed, and now they can get a 4. There's a chance they can get a 4-2 split, and suddenly you're thinking, that wasn't so bad.
Exactly. Massive recovery if they can get that job done, and I like this from this side. Again, long pause before we got to that previous round, and I think that could have helped them gain their composure a little bit. You know, momentum is a massive factor in a game like this, and if Talon were able to, win, keep winning rounds, we could have always had this map done without that pause, and it would have been a much help. So I think Luminosity is slowing this down. You're smiling, you're smoking at me. Yes, of course, if we didn't have a pause, time would have kept going as normal.
I'm laughing at the fact that you said PSG would have this game done already if we didn't have that tech pause. Like, Whippet does not speak for me, chat, by the way, when it comes to NA. I have a lot of love for NA.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
The look that I've just been given, by the way. So, Luminosity, they win that round. Really good chance now to go ahead and take a second round on the attacking phase, where, like I said, you'll not be overly disappointed if you get a 4-2. You'd actually feel pretty good, considering how this game started, to get those 2 rounds in a row. And look at the lineup they have again. Tons of utility that they can utilize.
4-2 split would be nothing, turn your nose up at. Considering you are attacking Skyscraper, it does lean towards that. And okay, good change here. They're not used as impact EMPs. A little bit more dangerous to do with the Maverick, but it guarantees they get the job done. Unlike those impact EMPs that we've seen so far, they've not been the most accurate.
Oh, but this is better. You get the wall open, 45 seconds gone. You can start putting some pressure in towards the site itself. You've still got Ryder with plenty of area to work with inside of Geisha, but the wall open will make things a little bit more difficult. The upside down rappel player could be the problem, but with no pressure on the other side, Ryder's getting out of there for free. Whippet with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Escapes with that, as you mentioned. Still lots of time to work with for Luminosity to get this round done. Inside a supply, Selma charge used to open up that castle barrier. Hop on that drone, gather up some information. Talon, lots of bodies stacked up. The red pings go out there, and that's a great pre-fire. Finding one Ryder first of all. Gonna cascade with that one, making it 2. Rumor to go off the board, and Luminosity look energized. And I think this is what they need. Play free, play relaxed, but Misa shuts that down. Wi-Fi falls. Minute 20, drops it with the SMG-11, finds one DBNO, not quick enough on that reaction. 3 in the round now.
What is going on? It's a 2 versus 1 now. Soldier has got 2 players to deal with. The case is going to go down. They need the cover now for LG. There's tons of information, the red ping, the yellow ping, but it don't matter. Surf gets the kill, and Luminosity will get the 2-4 split that seemed unimaginable after 4 rounds. But we said this. They were having fun towards the end of that tech pause. They were playing some rock, paper, scissors. Some of the players had a little nap to get them energized. This is much, much better. And honestly, I think they nearly needed it.
I mean, right now what we're seeing, this is what I wanted from Luminosity, to play a little bit more free, a little bit more relaxed, and play to their strengths. This is what they've done. They took gunfights, they won gunfights, and now they've got themselves 2 rounds. Now, they still trail by 2, but they will be moving to the defense here on Skyscraper. the much more preferred side from many of these sides. So, question now is how good are Talon's attacks going to look on this map? It's a much more difficult task to look at. And Luminosity, can they keep these defenses to work out perfectly? Lineup-wise, already like what I'm seeing. We're going to be seeing that Vigil coming out and on Surf. The thing about this is, no boss G. But number two is going to be the moment you see as a droner that the fact that kind of symbols are on your screen, you don't quite know where that Vigil is, that sows the seed of doubt to where that player is going to be and causes that double check, that paranoia, slows them down a little bit, gets in their heads. So I like that from Luminosity. Also, the freedom of this lineup. They've got a lot of aggression available to them. They can play loose and relaxed in this.
And those 2 rounds winning would have taken a massive weight off their shoulders as well. Like, they've won 2 attacking rounds back-to-back. Now they're on defense. They win this round, they're only 1 behind, and suddenly they'll believe they can turn this matchup around. You look at what Talon are doing. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel with their attacking lineup. Another roar in the background as Fresh takes another round for the rank stack, but with it, they'll
You're
get the
only saying that because he walked past 2 minutes ago.
He did, by the way. Took a break and got back into it. But look, they've got the wall open nice and early. That cuts off the rotate for the defenders. You can see that there's a bit of pressure on the side of the map from Luminosity. And this is a great drone from Yaz. You can see all the way down that corridor and it essentially cuts off any rotate back to site for the defenders.
Talon playing these rotates or these cutoffs very well so far, just kind of waiting to see if Luminosity make a mistake or push in towards it. And while Soldier on that blitz, I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. The Lion scan goes off, and this is going to be, well, look at the flurry of this one. Luminosity reacting to it, and it's going to be Yaspa in that opening. Silence going to be first to fall in that. Not sure what angle to hold on that rappel. Eddie gets one back. Mesa's going to be that trade-off, and that shotgun. Oh, they don't check the corner just in time. They do a scrappy fight. The blitz wins it out in the end.
3v1 now as it's all down to Ryder, but Luminosity with a really good chance now of getting the scoreline to 4-3. You've got Grim. You've still got all your utility. 5 of the canisters still left to use. You've not really had an impact on the round whatsoever at this point for your team, and you've seen everything fall apart. The big thing now, I always talk about it, if you're an attacker, you've got to try isolate these individual players, create 1v1s, and you've still got to win 3 of them. If you're Luminosity, all you got to do is hold a cross. A simple cross being held effectively with the information that they'll get from that cam inside of Drum means that this should be unwinnable for Talon.
Sub 1 minute. Ryder, so much work to do. And Luminosity sitting patiently waiting. Fear goes out from that FNAP. The camera spots them out as well. Ryder running out of options. Already had very few to work with. At this point, it's just grasping for straws. Talon are out of this round, surely. I'll take an absolute miracle to make something happen. And I like this from Luminosity. No one is going to get aggressive. No one has been given troll time permission. And those bees have not went deep enough to spot that player inside of Geisha. Everyone with Luminosity holding crosses, not giving up anything, picking out when the opportunity was there. Grim gets that detection, Ryder gets 1. Surf falls, 15 seconds. Through that drone hole, this might give an opportunity. Luminosity might be a chance of danger. No, shut down very quickly. Luminosity take round number 7, finding 1 more. They're on the road to recovery.
This has been another good round from them. They give 1 kill away, I suppose, at the end. But they're starting to close that gap. Remember, it's not that long ago. They were 4-0 down. They've closed it. They're on defense, on Sky. There's a very real chance that they can go ahead and take this one. Now, you look at every other game today, 7-4s, 7-3s, 7-2s. This is the point now where you expect to see really long games because their tournament is on the line. And this is map 1. You don't win a best of 3 in the first map, but if you can take that first map, it just makes everything feel that little bit easier going into the best of 3. Luminosity, they win this round, the scores are level, it's really game on at that point.
A massive recovery for them. I'll speak candidly, it was a poor run at the first 3 rounds. Unfortunate that we had that tech issue that led to this going into it, and it led to the 4 rounds that Talon got, but now they're 1 round away. They're so close to getting themselves all the way back, and they're on the defense. The much more favored side to get this job done. So North America's hopes and dreams of Luminosity still exist. Let's see if they can get this job done in round 8 to get themselves level.
So the round begins. Round 8, the attacking lineup is locked in. Deimos once more. Misa will be looking to you know, set that death mark out, create 1v1 opportunities. Remember, even if you're not the one to take the fight, you can feed that information to your teammates if your communication lines are clear. Capitao, excellent at clearing space. The big thing though with it, triple hard breach. Maverick, Ace, and Thermite. This is a heavy investment into opening up walls here from PSG Talon.
Hopefully, they can get those walls open. As you mentioned, you're going to commit that much too. You have to get that job done. Really relying on that. Deimos and Capitao, the other operators in that lineup providing utility. Deimos a massive factor. Misa on that role. Been great so far for the side of Talon. Early days still in this round. A slow, methodical approach from them. They're kind of taking their time to get things established. And Luminosity will be happy to wait. Happy to let every single second drain away.
There's information being gathered here too. You can see the yellow pings that are coming out. Rumatic, who was excellent, by the way, in the opening stages of this game. Not a single kill so far since the rehost, going 0 and 3. Deimos getting information. You know, that death mark has gone out. Oh, a lot of damage being dealt there, but see 65 HP for Yas. Still in a pretty good position. You can look at Luminosity, but they've started to fall back. They're pretty happy. Halfway through the round, fall back, you're in a good spot.
Talon want to get the opening picker. They're kind of trying to bait Luminosity into conceding that first loss of a gunfight. And Luminosity have played a little bit more constrained, a little bit more patient, and it's working out fantastically. Just over a minute to work in this round. All 10 players still standing, and we'll begin to see utility opening up. Smoking on the Selma charge, an unusual one, Gibby.
I love it, because if there's a player holding the angle from the top shrine, they can do nothing about it. You can spray and pray, but that creates an angle now that you can take another gunfight from. Really clever use of utility there from Talon, but with 50 seconds left on the clock, they need to begin marching towards the site. 5 versus 5 as things stand. There's a DBNO as Misa will find the opener onto Eddie on the stairs, which, by the way, creates a hole in this defense that allows the player to focus on two sides. Look, there's an easy kill if you push up the stairs, but still the shot's not found.
30 seconds, and this is going to be a critical one. Now, you need to win this fight in VIP, and that's what Ryder does. Wi-Fi falls. 25 seconds left to hold on. Can Luminosity find something here? 3 versus 5, advantage of the APAC side. All down to this. Talon ready to move in for this control, but every second they wait might be another advantage. Yas finding another one. Silent falls, 9 seconds. 000 is dawning. Amisa gets a second. All down the surf, alone against 5. 3 seconds till 000 arrives. He denies the plan. He wins the round. Luminosity are all the way back.
That is the type of play that really changes the tide in a game. Surf winning that round in a position that he had no right to. And that is a massive change in this game. Remember, they were 4-0 down. They're smiling. They're having fun. They've leveled the sides up. And for Talon, that is a huge step. When this best of 3 series is over, if Talon lose, that's the round right like that they'll think, those are the mistakes that kill you.
Look at the body language from Luminosity. Pumped up, energetic, ready to go for this one. Advantage Talon is now gone. Everything they invested on their defense has been neutralized. They now need to play this like a full reset. And Luminosity have all the momentum. Let's see if they can get the job done here on map 1, their map choice of Sky. And their defenses have looked fantastic so far.
You want an interesting tidbit for this game, despite the score being 4-4. In this game so far, PSG have got the opening kill 6 out of 8 times, but the scoreline is still 4-4. The bounce back ability from Luminosity in the last couple of rounds has been really good.
I mean, look at that though. It was down to a 1 versus 5. Surf was alone. He relied on the time, but that's what I was mentioning in that earlier round. Luminosity didn't get aggressive, didn't sacrifice players on that roam presence, pulled everybody back, let the map do the work for you, forced PSG Talon into an execution with around 5 seconds left. And what are you going to do? Stick that case in 000. One player lurking around the corner can deny all your hard work, and that's what Surf done.
But you time that a second or two off, you lose the round as well. Like, the timing was perfect. But again, that's a blind spot. There's no way that PSG Talon should allow that to happen. So they need to bounce back now from that situation. But Luminosity now playing to take the lead for the very first time in this map. So a lot of offensive utility. Brava should get a ton of use out of these drones. You know, you think about the fact that you want to push up through black, you can get a ton of information from them. And you've got the Twitch as well. Like, they've got a lot of utility denial drones in their pocket.
Talon need to find that opening engagement yet again, but be able to cascade off that advantage. Luminosity growing into this matchup so far, and I feel just the energy of that clutch is going to be able to revitalize this side. Gives them a little bit of extra purpose, a little bit of extra venom behind every single gunfight. And confidence here from Silence. An army of drones hunting him down. Breach is opened up inside of Geisha, looks to try and get an entryway. Talon have that, and he will be the Bastion to lock this one out. And that's going to be the opening pick. Wi-Fi finds it. Rumatic off the board early. Traded off from Ryder. Silence now gone from Luminosity. Pressure inside of Geisha has been arrived, but Luminosity still in a great position.
And there's Eddie finding another kill. It's a 4v3. They've got the numbers in their favor as well. This is all working out nicely for Luminosity. But you've still got a lot of work to do. You've got the numbers, but you've still got the press towards site. You've got to find these extra few kills because you can't really execute just yet without having full information. So set up your drones. You have 50 seconds. It can seem like an eternity, particularly when you're defending and you know that the push is going to come at some point. There's the yellow ping. You've got information on one of the players, but Yas is holding. Look, he's waiting for everyone else to get in a position before he moves any further.
That's a great addition now from Talon, waiting to get everyone ready to posture up, make that play happen. For Luminosity, I like this from this side. You think they've energized, revitalized from that clutch, but they're going to play passively, finding one more. Yas is off the board. And now all the pressure yet again on Talon. 2 players remaining, just under 20 seconds, and the case is in the hands of Soldier. They have to make something. Drop in the kitchen, that will be Ryder. Eddie gets a second in the round. Ryder left alone against 3. Can he make it work? Getting 3 in the round, 7 seconds, and time might be the enemy of Talon yet again. No way in this round. 2 seconds remain. 000 has arrived. The red ping is there. Luminosity now lead.
5 rounds in a row now for the North American side as they are starting to put PSG Talon to the sword. This has been a brilliant bounce back so far in this one, but it's a blind spot. It's another little mistake from PSG Talon that will drive them crazy, enough so that it's forced the tactical timeout. But you've got control of the top floor. You've droned out the site. You know where one of the defenders are. But whip it, how is somebody allowed to play on black stairs to take a 1v1 on your player that's in restaurant holding the main lobby section of the map?
This is what I'm very curious to see. The emotions on Fabian as he corrects this team. Again, they had a lead. 4-round advantage going into this half. Luminosity finding 5 in a row. Let's see what this team can do. They've had a long boot camp as well leading up to this. They've got a lot of time to prep. See if they can convert that now as Deepwater arrives in the opening map of this best of 3.
That's the look in the face that people usually give whenever they're telling me they're not angry, they're disappointed.
Get that often?
All the time. All the time. But they need to lock in now. They've lost 5 rounds in a row. Luminosity have got so much momentum off the back of this one. And you feel like this next round is so important for both these sides because either Luminosity are going to go on to map point and map one of this best of 3, or Talon will level it up at 5 rounds apiece, meaning we will have every single map in regulation for the first time today.
You're right, we have not seen a game go all 12 rounds across both our groups so far. Maybe we might have in the games that have already been played on the other side. I don't know yet.
We're not there. We're here in this game.
Exactly. We're locked into this one. But from Luminosity, I am so impressed with this team. You know, you look at it, it's a difficult start. The first 3 rounds, they looked flat. They didn't have that energy. Now, they're growing into this matchup. They're feeling confident. And this is what I wanted to see from this side is, you know, they are a little bit of the underdogs going into the side that doesn't have that international experience, now making their debut here at a massive event. Let's see if they can perform and on the bounce back of a bad result against Bliss earlier. And this is great to see from Luminosity.
Yeah, if you're on that side, you're starting to feel a bit confident. And they deserve to be here. They're qualified. And, you know, when you looked at their social, a lot of damage dealt on the Wi-Fi. But when you looked at their socials, they were like, everyone doubted us, but we knew we would be here. And now they're fighting to stay here, and they're starting to actually throw punches in that fight. There's the opening kill, though. Ryder's going to catch Wi-Fi as he was sprinting away, and he turns his attention now to black stairs. But That's the opening pick for Talon with 40 seconds gone. This is how you do it. This is how you open up that wall.
Well, that's the duality of bringing a Thatcher instead of secondary EMPs, the larger radius of those main EMPs, make that job a lot easier. So VIP walls now opened up in Talon are in a great position this round. Early pick, great utility usage, angles opened up, but what can they do from here? It's all well and good having a good early game, but when you get towards that mid stage, you need to be able to get that map control that you've worked for and be able to push on and get towards that pressure point. 2 players in here. They spot one inside a Dragon. That will be your Kaid. That will be Eddie. Well, I do want to fall back to maintain this pressure out towards VIP, but can't play behind that desk with that wall opened up, as it will be a slower stage now. Minute 30 left to go. See Rumatic fall. The new blood at the side, slaying yet again. Slower since that restart, bringing us back to 4 versus 4.
Really big pick there from Kixro as well, and that's the Lion gone as well, who had 2 scans left in the back pocket, which can be great enablers for late game executes. Now they're going to open up that wall in towards bathroom. You can still see by the silhouettes there is some defensive presence on the top floor, but Yas is currently hunting that down. Now look, tucked in the corner. We've already seen a Luminosity player make a huge play in this position. Surf has done it before. Is he going to do it again? You can see he's got some verticality in towards the site as well with some help, but I can't get over how Silent is able to just freely run around here with the angle that Hayaz has, and he's not be able to get any damage done.
Under a minute now. Talon lose their early advantage that they gained. 4 versus 4 now. And yet again, what we've seen since this defense side of Luminosity. They'll be patient, they're not going to get aggressive, they're going to let Talon walk themselves into potential mistakes. Seconds down the charge used to get them a walkable entrance way in the bathroom. They're running into resistance from that castle barrier. The smokes go out, they try and make this plant work. But look what's upstairs. That's going to be a warden. Patience is a virtue, and Surf will get one the rider. And it's all but over now. Talon put everything into that execution within the smokes. They lose 2 bodies for it. And I think it might be a death tome of this round as Surf finds the second one, leaving it all down the soldier. 2 seconds, and there's not much you can do. Luminosity, map point on Sky.
If you want to execute a plan, you can't skip steps. And that's what they did. They gave up on taking vertical control on a site with loads of verticality on it, and they hope to smoke. Their whole plan there after they lost the Lion was, oh, we're going to smoke plant with the fact there's a warden upstairs. It's just not going to work in that scenario. Luminosity, that is another round 6 in a row as they are looking to take map 1. It's as simple as this for Talon. If you do not win this round, we are going to Clubhouse. But for Luminosity, could you imagine how those players are feeling right now, especially when you saw what they looked like after the first 4?
They look like different people with the energy levels now that they're bringing out in this one. They feel energized, they feel ready to go in this. And now they're 1 round away from locking out their map choice and getting this best of 3 off to the best possible start you can have. So can Talon reply? They've not found anything now. 6 rounds in a row from Luminosity. Talon have gone quiet. They haven't found a way into this one. They've found the occasional opening pick, but they've not got close in these last couple rounds.
I feel like that round that they lost, where they were getting the plant down, where Surf was able to hop around the corner and get the kill, it's ruined their mentals. They've not really bounced back from that situation at all. And for Luminosity, they look completely revitalized. So this is it. This is what could potentially be the final round of map 1. Talon locating the bombs, and but as you look at the drones, they had 9 drones left. They have so much ability to get information. But you know who could be the real X factor in this round? That Glaz. And you look at that, they've got the smokes to work with. They've got Ying. Glaz, Ying with smokes. Talon, they're cooking.
They are. But the question I always have to ask about this one is they've clearly committed to a Ying Glaz smoke execution. That's the plan here. But will they get every step in the right position? Misa finds 1, finding 2 is going to be Yas backing that one up, and well, they skipped steps last time, not this time around. 2 very aggressive, very early picks. And Luminosity quickly on the ropes. We hear that canister placed down, and we see Soldier working on that case. Eddie finds 1 on the rider, but that plant happens in the distance. Misa finds a second one. And Talon have a little bit of life left in them. And there's going to be Misa with 3. All down to Quixo alone. Shut down by Rumatic. Talon get round number 11. And Gibby, we have to take all 12 rounds to find a separation between these teams.
This is so much better from PSG. You'd barely finished the sentence about whether the Ying Glass plant or push would work when Ying and Glass got a kill apiece. They did that much better. And honestly, we have a brilliant game to kick us off here in the best of 3 elimination matchups. All the way in regulation. Are we having overtime or can Luminosity get the job done? The job that you told me during the tech pause was impossible because you said they were going to lose 7-0.
I said nothing of the sort, Gibson.
You wrote it on, you actually wrote it on paper.
No,
there's physical evidence of it.
There is not. There is not.
Drawing a line through it doesn't mean it never happened.
I never said Luminosity would lose 7-0.
You wrote it though.
I've never said it though, so it's not real. Luminosity though, they're still in a great position. They've played fantastically so far on this defense, and you know they were able to go 6 rounds consecutively. Talon fired back and got 1. Very impressed with that commitment from them. Question, Gibson, do you think they have it in them one more time?
Answer, Whippet, yes. Yes, I do. So, I'm looking at this one, right? The lineup again, you're bringing Ying. Ying's been a massive part of both of these teams' attacking plans, but not really had the impact that you would expect from an operator like that so far. Floria is being brought. We know the impact that those Rotero drones can have, particularly with getting rid of utility. When you look at what the defenders have brought, you feel like the Melusi is going to be one of the main targets for those bits of information. But this time, Silent does have the Boss G on the Vigil, and that thing terrifies me.
Just because you can't use it, Gibson. We already see him, though, finding himself in an engagement. 2 shots fired away. Eddie on house stairs with that shotgun, looking for a fight. Up close and personal. Don't want to walk into that one if you're a member of Talon. But Luminosity will keep it slow. Keep it relaxed. They don't want to extend. They don't want to make a mistake early. And let that 6-round run go to a waste.
Someone's going to peek this.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They won't.
Yas is waiting for it. He's waiting for someone to pick. Now, what I love about the setup that they've done, it makes it a little harder for the Thermite to just... C4 be thrown. You know what? That'll get rid of one of those exothermic charges. It's maybe not what they would have wanted, but here's where the Selmas will now come into play. But Thermite shouldn't have been allowed to get that close to the wall without being made to pay. So you've got the breach open, you've got some pressure over by the window. Now you got to start moving across the map to really give those defenders something to think about, because a smoke plant, the rush through the site wall, isn't going to work this time around. Cadelas are being thrown though.
Those Jings go out, and that's going to be a little bit of a call to action to try and make something happen in this round. Flashbangs arriving, Grujmot sent out as well, looking for an opening. Talon posturing up to dive in this site. Can Luminosity hold the line of that pressure? No one's blinded by it, but look at this. Ryder's inside, trying to stick that case. Quixo gets 1, finding a second one now. Is Talon gonna fall? Case goes down, but Luminosity stormed the line. 4 versus 2. 3 versus 2 now, traded off by Ryder. Can Luminosity find a retake?
This is tense now for these sides. An opportunity missed there for Ryder. That could be key in this round. They can't get close enough to the case. You had a little bit more damage going, but they've got to start making a push. You've got 14 seconds to get the kills and get to the case. There's one of them. Soldier will find another. He's got the angle. He's got to survive. You have 8 seconds. The Warden's going to push. The timing almost works against Soldier, but now they've got the cross, and Soldier's got to get the angle. He peeks, but Luminosity get the kill. They're going to defuse, and they take map 1 of this best of 3.
From 4 rounds down, they look defeated, they look lethargic, they look tired and done, but they took themselves, they reset, they win 6 rounds in a row, and they get a masterful retake there against Talon, taking their map choice of Skyscraper. Fantastic work from Luminosity. Consider me fantastically impressed, Gibby.
I cannot get over how good of a bounce back that was after the tech pause. Like, they went on a huge streak, 6 rounds in a row, and within the next 2 rounds, they'd won the whole matchup. PSG Talon will be very annoyed they lost that game. You could say the tech pause was the difference. To me, there was 2 things. 1, They started to smile towards the end of the round, but 2, that clutch by Surf when the case was going down changed it. But look, there are much better qualified people than us to break down how that game was won. We're going to throw it back to the desk to talk about map 1.
Well, that was certainly a roller coaster of emotions. Talon kicking things off, being 4-0 up. Luminosity calling for that pause, and then the tides well and truly started turning. We had, of course, that tech pause, but I'm going to go ahead, hedge my bets, and say that the Luminosity comeback was down to that pause that they called for.
Yeah, I mean, Skyscraper is one of those maps that obviously when you're on defense, you want to be able to farm as many points. So the main thought that you go in is, let's just get as many attack rounds as possible. And even though Luminosity was going down early in the game, everybody on the team was still playing very confident with their gunfights. They were still winning fights. It's just those last little rounds were not going in their favor, especially players like Wi-Fi. I mean, some of the shots that he was hitting was amazing. So once the sides swapped, it was just about, yes, I agree the tech pause, but it was just about playing their game from that point on. The tech pause definitely iced Talon, but I think a lot of it came down to Luminosity's defensive play.
I definitely agree with you, and I think it comes down to momentum. Like, we've seen this 1v4 clutch, basically, or 1v5 if you consider it at that point, because Talon was looking for the kills whilst one guy was planting, so the communication was completely off, and you just had, like, Luminosity being able to come back after a win, get the clutch round like that, hitting shots, and, you know, slowly being awake and coming back on these rounds. And obviously the pause, it's always rough if you're leading and you have a pause on you, so you lose your momentum whilst the enemy can recover. But overall, I think Luminosity has shown that they are a very strong individual team. But one thing we shouldn't forget is Skyscraper was one of their, if not their best map. Whilst it was a very good map for Talon, and it was the pick of Luminosity as well, and we're moving to Clubhouse now, which Talon has a 6-0 win rate right now on, in Korea, but still it's an impressive run, and their Skyscraper win rate was rather mixed. It was 2-2, so hard to say. Like, I think they put up a very good showing, especially because of them being the better team, but I think Luminosity has proven that they can compete internationally, even on maps as Sky.
I think the biggest thing with going into Clubhouse, even though it is a confident Talon map, it's all about the momentum, how the players are going to adapt to losing round 1. If they are crumbling off of losing a 1v4 to Surf denying the plant, and the momentum and the mental just being chalked from that point on, then losing the whole map entirely and going into map 2, even though it's your pick, it makes things very difficult mentally to overcome that.
Well, I know we've spoken a lot about the Luminosity comeback, but what about that 4-round start that Talon ended up having? I know Rumatic was definitely one of those players that we highlighted as well. Did you feel like he delivered as an individual?
I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I really want to emphasize how important defense Sky is. I mean, we saw some amazing, you know, in every single Skyscraper game, defense is always going to run away with it. So getting 3-4 rounds is what you want, but it didn't necessarily look like there was a specific player on Talon that was really doing better than the rest. I feel like it was a good team play from Talon, but when it came to those attacks, there was obviously, I wouldn't even say a lack of team play. I think it was just a matter of lack of confidence because they got iced. They didn't really necessarily play off of each other as well. And Luminosity's individual play, which was emphasized by Skyscraper's defensive, like the strong suit of the defense, they just, even when they got their opening into the site, they were still not looking at their corners, not finding all the rat spots, and that's where LG was able to capitalize. Now,
Corey, what do we think for next map? If you are Talon, what is the game plan heading into your map pick now?
How to perform, and then we will see Talon, you know, hopefully picking up on it, being on a confident map, being able to play again, being able to reset the mental, not have a break in it, not have anything weird in it. And I think at the beginning we saw it, like we talked about Rumatic, and I think he didn't perform as well as we expected, but he got the very first kill of the game. He jumped out of a window, he prepped it, jumped out on sound, got a kill. He has the confidence, and in my opinion, they just need to calm down, cool it down, figure out their communication, and then they'll be completely fine.
Absolutely. The opening picks and the aggressive fights that they want to get from Luminosity, they're going to get. Luminosity is going to give it to them. But once you get that pick or you amount to 4-4 man count, I really want to see them slow down and take that time to drone out the rat players, because successfully, that's what Luminosity is getting away with.
You know what, Corey? You wanted to go ahead, give them a break. Let's go and do just that. We'll be back with our second map very soon.
million shining stars. I don't wanna be alone tonight in this darkness. They keep on selling us dreams to get this higher. It's in the energy all around us, but it's divine. There's a million shining stars, and I don't wanna be alone tonight in this darkness. There's a million shining stars, and but it's divine. They keep on selling us dreams, dreams. It's in the energy all around us, all around us, all around us.
Welcome back in, everyone, and what a first map we had in that best of 3 series. Luminosity, down and out, ruled out, no chance in the world after the first 4 rounds. What a turnaround, and they're just one map away now from continuing into tomorrow. This is such a big map for PSG.
As you mentioned, it's a massive map, but also a map that I believe they're 6-0 with their old roster instead of the regional of South Korea so far. So that means it's a team that's clearly confident in their playstyle on this map of Clubhouse. However, duality, you know, two edges of the sword, that means just a lot of tape for Luminosity to go over. And if they've done their homework, which I hope they have, they'll see how this team plays. Now, it's a new team in terms of 2 new pickups coming into the side, but momentum is going to be another factor I want to talk about in this one. Luminosity looked absolutely done. They were 4 rounds down, and they decided, you know what, they're going to play I don't want to say it, but play a little bit of ranky, you know, get aggressive, take their gunfights and win. And that's what they've done. Played fantastic. They slowed things down the defense perfectly as well and really tested Talon structurally and strategically, and that worked out perfectly for them. Now, moving on the clubhouse, different beast of a map, I think.
Yeah, you were talking about how they're 6-0 in this map in their region. It is Clubhouse. It's not a gimmicky map. It's a map that every team needs to be able to play in their locker because you're going to play it so many times across the stage. The one negative for PSG about winning this map 6 times is LG have tons of tape on how they set up, how they play, what to expect from PSG Talon in this match. So they could use all of that information to formulate a plan to take it here and now. But for PSG, the pressure on their shoulders right now, they know they need to win this map. This is their pick. They know they're excellent on it. Sometimes that can be a curse when you feel like this is our map. We need to win this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll read in the body language just a little bit here, and you see Luminosity are a little bit more happy, a little bit more relaxed going into it. And I mean, we quickly walked past the team as we were going, taking our break during that pause, and they felt confident about what they were trying to do, and there was a lot of energy in that team going into it. Now, obviously, Talon are a different side, different personalities going into it, but Fabian is going to really put, I think, they know the expectation of this side, and the weight of great expectation is massive. And when you have that man standing behind you on this matchup, on a map that you have a high preference for within your region, there will be a little bit of pressure going into it, especially for those 2 new players, especially Ramatuk, who is that young player stepping up.
Brilliant in the first 4 rounds, by the way.
Fantastic.
That stat line for the first 4 lines was incredible, or rounds, but was incredible. But everything kind of went downhill from there. The other pickup, a lot more experience. We spoke about this region and how it's kind of been dominated by D+ for a long time, and now some of those players are on this side of the coin. So I feel like this is a map that they should have unlocked. Yes, we spoke a lot about how Luminosity could take advantage of the fact that Talon have so much tape here, but it is a map that if they get their basics right, which is something that this coaching staff has been preaching since day one, Clubhouse should be a pretty straightforward map for these teams. But for Luminosity, how good must you feel? You're 1 map away from playing through to tomorrow, and you came back from an incredibly tough position. Yeah, I mean, again, if either of these teams, by the way, get this victory, it's going to be a difficult day tomorrow against W7M. That's who they face in this side of the lower bracket, so not going to be ideal for them. But for Luminosity, I really, really want to zero in on the fact that they were 4 rounds down. This side looked low energy, defeated. There was something missing. And then they found that energy. They were able to play off it. And a lot of that's going to come down, in my head, to that clutch. That 5 versus 1, 0-second play, surf rounds that corner, denies that plant and wins it. That moment, that's the turning tide. That's when this side came alive. That's when they found their confidence again, and they looked brilliant from that moment. The question now is, Talon, can they reset momentum, go to their map and play a style of siege that will benefit them? I think they can, but you know you and me, we love a 3-map best of 3.
Oh, we love them.
So it wouldn't do this game justice to finish in 2
You know
maps.
what it needs? 30 more rounds of siege. 15 rounds, 15 rounds.
I'm down. Are you down?
Yes, I am.
Chad, are you down? I heard a massive no, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. This one should be a good game, though. I talked about maybe LAN jitters that maybe this roster might have had because this is all really new to them. Relatively, it's pretty new to PSG Talon too, but they did play in Manchester. They've had tons of experience. I feel like now Luminosity have started to believe in themselves a bit more. It is one thing putting out a confident persona to the outside world, right? Saying, oh yeah, we deserve to be here. We're great. We're going to win. It's very easy to do that, but internally it can be very different.
Right, visual. Both coaches standing behind their players, ready. Once more into the breach they'll go. See if they can get this one done. And Luminosity look fantastic with that momentum. Talon had great fundamentals for the first half of Skyscraper, fell apart under that pressure. Can they make the changes that they need to dive into it? Are you ready, Gibby? As it's Clubhouse, map number 2, Luminosity versus Talon.
I am so ready. I did want to say one thing. That coach side-by-side we had?
Yes, sir.
3 hammers between the 2 of them.
Oh, yes, of course. Ooh, funny. You're funny, Gibby. You're funny. Maverick will be our very first ban arriving here. Luminosity taking that operator out of the fray. And I'm very intrigued to see how this one plays out. Monty, a ban that we're almost used to seeing here on a map like Clubhouse. No surprises there. These 2 defensive bans, that's going to make or shape this match.
Luminosity really struggled with opening walls, and they found out how to do it with Maverick, and then they banned Maverick.
Yeah, wow, they struggle to throw the pocket EMPs. I think that was the issue with them a little bit. Those impact EMPs, a little bit of precision needed on that. We'll see Talon banning away that Kaid, and a little bit of consideration now as Luminosity take a few extra seconds to deliberate on what will be their final ban. And it's pick your poison, but it will be Azami this time. That means operators like Fenrir, Solace, Valkyrie still applicable for this. And I mean, big thing though. I look at that Azami ban, that's going to affect Rafters on Garage and the playability of that position. So keep your eye on how that's going to affect both teams' strategic outlooks on that site.
Two very big things about those bans in particular, right? Kaid being banned means when you're attacking basement, that the hatches, unless they're impact tricked successfully, are going to be pretty free retaking for the attacking side. It also means, as you said, it'll be a lot easier to push the top floor and clear Rafters. So that's going to have a huge impact on the way this game is going to play out. I would like to see on the attack really, really good aggression from this side, from PSG to kick things off.
Score update as well from the rest of Group A happening. We have an upper bracket semi-final result. It was Team Liquid versus Bliss. Team Liquid qualify towards that main stage now as they get a 7-4 victory over Bliss, meaning Bliss will play the victor of Cruelty or SSG in their lower bracket matchup tomorrow. So, Clubhouse, we're ready to dive into this one. The big storyline I want to focus in from across the entirety of this one is Talon's experience on this map, considering they play it so much in their home region of South Korea. 6-0, they stand on it now. 2 new players coming into this side, a little bit more experience on international stages that they got from Manchester. Can they grow on this one? What have they learned? And already, I'm very excited to see the fact that Blitz coming out. No Monty, no problem.
Yeah, and you look at the position of the defenders, we spotted the fact there's a player playing inside of Adam, and then you get the player on Rafters as well. And this is a basement defense. This is a really good opportunity for Talon to go direct if they want to, but looking at the way they're setting up, that's not the plan. This is going to be a full clear, Whippetip even electrified up inside of CCTV, just to make clearing the map very difficult for PSG Talon.
PSG Talon trying to clear that pressure on Rafters early. That will be a solace. Not the easiest job to do. Silent tasked with it. 2 bodies stacked up to hold it. I think he's actually been left alone now. No one's holding that crossfire from CC window just yet, so he is safe to move around. It is opened up and free ready for it. And the Buck will send that shot out. Misa gives away his position, plays his card just a little bit early. An attempted bandit trick with the window still open. Bravery from the bandits, and well, it works out perfectly.
It's the top floor. It's a basement defense. Oh, here we go. Blitz is going to... Here we don't go. They're going to... Oh, the re-aggression. Oh, yeah, bandit. It's Blitz. This is bad, bad news. And there'll be the kill picked up. 5v4. But if you're at home and you're a Luminosity fan, this is good. You've wasted 1 minute and 20 seconds. You might not have got a kill, but you've used up so much of the time.
It's also the fact that you've lost a bandit, so that is, set and forget utility placed around the map, trying to delay this. And as you mentioned, that basement site, that's where they're trying to work with, and there's still more layers to this defense. That onion peel style, there's more and more to this, but Rubitic does find one more. Wi-Fi is the victim of that, but this one silent, pops up, gets one back. Eddie and Surf getting one apiece as well. Talon reduced to 2, quickly finding a trade-off. Surf catches the stray end of that round. And it will be a 2 versus 2. Just on a minute to work with for both these teams.
That's as free as they come for sight. This is a basement defense, by the way, and they've got still players roaming on the top floor in a 2v2. The case has gone cold. It's all down to Yaz. Now, if Yaz... Oh, this is going to go badly. This is going to go badly. Yaz in a gunfight manages to avoid it, but there's only 35 seconds to go now. This is a horrible situation to be in. You've got 22 health points. There's 1 defender left on the site, but you've got 0 clue whereabouts on site that player is, and now the Solace has fallen back as well. I don't know what Luminosity were doing on defense, but it definitely worked. That is for sure.
I can tell you what they're doing. They're doing a multi-layered roam, Gibby. They're trying to draw Talon in, to take those early fights and waste every second. And well, with only 10 seconds remaining, looks like they're on the cusp of getting this one locked out. 5 seconds, and well, Talon, I don't think they can get this one done. It's a miracle. They don't line up. Silent with the shotgun gets the job done. Luminosity take your opening round here on Clubhouse, and this is what we need to see from this team. Body language, something I always look at players that land like this, and there's a good energy coming from all these players right now. I think they're in a great position to capitalize fully and get even more rounds in this run.
There was a few things there that really impressed me in that round, right? First off, it was Luminosity extending the whole map, using utility on the top floor to force PSG Talon to clear the whole thing. Now, PSG Talon had multiple opportunities to change their plan and go directly to site because of that extended roam, but they never really chose to do so. But it was the fact that even after they lost that initial player on the top floor, they retook the top floor in a 2v2. Like, the amount of confidence and belief that it takes to do that is insane.
Silent played that perfectly, popping up again, finding two, that retake of cash, and then the kill from the verticality in towards stock. Perfectly done. Luminosity moved around that map with purpose, had a great overarching plan of what that strategy was going to be, and it worked perfectly for them. Let's see if they can keep that rolling here on that defense. And again, Clubhouse is a map that we've seen swing multiple ways. Sometimes it can be attack dominated, sometimes it can be defense dominated, depending on the dance partners in the server. I'm very intrigued to see how Talon deal with this one. Now, Talon, I'll say this, offensively, having a little bit lackluster. Defenses are great. They're really improving their system there. Still work to do here on the offensive side. So I think if Luminosity keep playing like this, Talon might be tested.
Oh, they definitely will. The setup here for Luminosity, they've got the castle. That enables the bandit trick to happen by the wall if they want to do so. You put one castle on the gym window, you put another castle on the gym door. That means that bandit can play pretty close to the breach if needs be and trick it and stop them from entering. Now, because it's a thermite, it does mean that tricking's that little bit easier as well, because with the Selmas, you can throw one on each side of the wall. But Talon, they're going to play the slow methodical game. Look, we're still putting utility. There's not going to be a trick with it because bandit's over on the other side of the map again for free. And, oh, this is going to be a trick, isn't it?
No,
no,
oh, Eddie, Eddie, no, Eddie.
Run,
oh, good. Right, Eddie decides to not stick that one out, backs away from the commit of that bandit
Pros
wire.
never fake.
Give me that playing, they are the pros. But stops that now, keeps himself in this fight. Unfortunately, can't deny that one. Single wall might be tricked, and it is so. So again, 1 for 2, 50% guarantee on your bandit trick so far. And this will slow down this play. Trying to eke this out as best as possible. Mute Jammer can't deny that one X-Curse pellet that makes that happen on the top of that castle barrier. 1 minute 30. Blitz in effect yet again. Soldier trying to buy that space. Lots of it to find. Haven't got that opening on that single wall facing into construction, so you have to work this through that doorway. A long way around to make that one stick. The window opened up as well, gives a little bit of pressure. Quickso could try and work for around this one. It could be a massive threat. One jump out might unravel this round if Talon aren't careful.
This is tough. They've only got 8 of those pellets, 2 of those pellets left on the Habana as well, so you cannot push this site from multiple angles. You need to force it through that Logi hatch and through construction. And Silent is still roaming in the basement, of course, why not? 50 seconds left to go on the round, but Talon have got themselves into a horrible hole, a horrible position, and in reality, they need to win this game with gunfights from this point on. You cannot win the utility game from here on out, and they're trying to rotate, they're trying to push, they're trying to find any sort of off angle they can get. Blitz is going to run on in through the sphere, and there's a double, but it's going to go on the side of Luminosity. 4v2 with 20 seconds to go. Misa vaults in, but the case is cold. There's 3 silhouettes by the bathroom. He swings, but none will be found at the first time of asking, nor the second. But reinforcements are coming from Ryder, but he misses his shots now too. They've got so much information. This is a must win. The drop shot from Misa will come through. 10 seconds. 3v2. They've got the case. The castle barricade might even allow this to go down. Just stay alive, Ryder. That's all you've got to do. The case is going down. The kill from Silent, but the case is there. But that will be another round win from Luminosity.
This is what they need to do. They need to string together as many rounds as possible. But I will say this, Talon made that a difficult one. They decided it's time to go and they have to play off their gunfights. And that's exactly what they've done. They bounded into sight with confidence, but Luminosity were quicker on the draw. They kept that man advantage, and they're able to cascade off this one. The Blitz overcommitting a little bit too deep. The player on the counter, that bandit, gets caught out straight away. That was Eddie, and it's going to be a mess. Drop shot finds one. Mesa gets the opening, but there's no way they can deny that one. Charging through the castle barrier. Luminosity get 2 in a row.
But that FNAT is what saved the life of the player in the corner because they couldn't see them. They were too busy chasing the kill on the bandit for the freebie. The FNAT covered the corner. You can't even give out to the Blitz there because they just could not have known. The player did not appear in their screen whatsoever. But little things like that is instances where a round can be won and lost, but it's another round for Talon on attack where it comes down to the final few seconds. It's so slow sometimes.
The thing I'm looking for Talon to do in this moment is going to be able to find themselves 2 rounds. It's a 4-2 split. That's going to be a win for them on this moment. It's going to be a very difficult time on the offense here on Clubhouse, and I do feel Luminosity have the potential to string together another 2-3 rounds if they're not checked very quickly. For Talon, they need to, I think opening pick, it's something that had great success on Skyscraper. Now they can't find that opening. I think Luminosity are way more confident in their own playstyle, and they're playing, I wouldn't say risk adverse, but they're making very, very sensible decision making on what fights to take and when to take them and where to take them. It's causing Talon a lot of issues so far.
If I'm going to give NA credit for one thing, they are very good at developing players who live on momentum, and there's going to be a bandit trick attempt. It's only going to work on one.
No, are you kidding me? No!
Pros don't.
Eddie, don't you dare. Don't you dare!
Yeah. But Talon, that is a bit of a problem. You've now lost a couple of Selmas. You've lost an exothermic charge. That is brilliant from Eddie. That is so good from the bandit. And I love the fact that we still get final.
That was the final boss of bandit tricking. Eddie just done that without breaking a sweat. Back onto it as well.
Yeah, like,
of course not. Why not? I mean, was able to survive 2 AMPs, a Selma, an exothermic charge, and a little bit of miscommunication. They're not detonating the exothermic charge sooner. They baked them into that moment. But Eddie, a massive benefit. A single car battery has now slowed down Talon. There's not a lot they can do from this moment. They have to, again, the primary plan's falling apart for them.
Well, but look at the attacking lineup and tell me who the 4th operator on the attacking lineup is from the middle.
The 4th from the middle.
Yeah.
Capitan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Capital really good at?
Denying areas.
Wouldn't it be great if you shot a fireball over the breach and didn't let the bandit trick?
That is true, but we are on this side of the desk for a reason. So, alas, we can only theorize and throw our speculation in towards the ethers. But, of course, they have that utility to work with. They eventually get that wall opened up. Eddie doesn't firm that anymore. But time wasted in that moment. They had to reallocate positions likely to do it. A lot of default cameras still available as well to work with on the side of Luminosity. They're in a great position to find their 3rd consecutive round.
They're getting information, but there's not really very much you can do with it. There we go. There's the fireballs. That's pretty good. Yeah,
that's better.
Save it for then. But you still got to get the breach. Stop standing in the flames.
Harder than you think, Gibson. Much more difficult than you think. But again, it's going to be that sacrifice. They got tricked out on that wall. They didn't want to use the Capital darts for that, but they want to use to clear that routing position. Much more well done from them and efficiently done. Silent couldn't do anything from that position, no matter how many my discs he had to cover him. However, Eddie's work on that trick means we only have 25 seconds left to go, and Talon have a numbers advantage, but not many ways in. Smoke canister still going out, and that case is out on rafters. A much more difficult approach, so they're going to rotate around, and, well, Soldier needs to make this one stick. Charging up red stairs, going to be shut down very quickly. 2 bodies stacked up, and Surfer Wi-Fi finding it, and I think Talon have ran out of steam in this moment. Case should go down with this retake. It's going to be very, very difficult. C4 down below, Eddie combination. Locked in, Luminosity finding 3 in a row.
The streak that they are on right now, since the rehost, which happened in round 4 of map 1, PSG have won 1 round.
Yep.
And we are in round 4 of the 2nd map. It has been dominant from Luminosity. They're bandit tricking, they're smiling, they're having fun. And what I was kind of saying before that incredible bandit trick was the fact that NA is very good at developing very momentum-based players, where once they get on a roll, their confidence becomes so high that it is incredibly hard to stop them. And it seems like even when they're making mistakes, and you know, they will make mistakes, they're a young team, they're getting away with them because confidence is like plot armor sometimes.
It is. I mean, you're perfectly right on this one. And we see this team, the fact is, once they got that clutch on Skyscraper, how they grew into the matchup, and you felt them getting more confident. You could see them physically on those cameras getting more and more confident every single time. And now they went 3 rounds consecutively here on Clubhouse, the map that ourselves and our desk had mentioned is going to be kind of a fortress for Talon so far instead of South Korea. They've played it, 6 times, 6 victories on it, and Luminosity look to be in complete control here. Can they make it 4 rounds in a row? Can they really go absolutely all out here? And of course, you gotta remember, this is an elimination matchup, best of 3. If Talon lose this, they're out. They're done. Their run in the Esports World Cup, over.
Key pressed and gone.
Yep.
Forever. to the Boulevard, where you can all view it, by the way.
Exactly. Or someone might put it in their trophy.
Would be nice to have the PSG Talon name when they're coached by Fabian, wouldn't
Exactly. You know, it's going to be a bounty to collect, of course.
it? Depends. It is going to depend who wins, though.
Of course.
Because if you're a Brazilian team and you win, you're getting the other 3 Brazilian teams.
Exactly. You have to be the best Brazilian team here if you're there, of course. 4 Brazilian representatives, of course, this year. Esports World Cup for Rainbow Six Siege. Best region by far, most representation that we've seen from a singular region here. So, Luminosity, 3 rounds in a row. All confident defense victories. Talon haven't really got close. What do they need to change, Mr. Gibson?
I think they need to start taking a leaf out of Luminosity's book and actively use the utility that you're bringing to the game. That's the big thing that Luminosity started to change after that terrible start at the start of the game. They started using everything in conjunction and working as a team to find individual kills. Look at this is already significantly better. They're in the top floor, they've got information, there's a blue silhouette off in the distance. If you can deal with Kicks Row very early, it buys you so much time on this map as you look to take control, but he's still wandering around for free whip it. Like, there's 40 seconds gone, you know this player's here, he's the only player on the top floor, and instead of going to try get the kill, Talon are holding angles. They're not actively really pursuing this player. Oh, here we go. There we go. The holding the angle works
Much better done. Much better done there. Crixos first of all for the side of Luminosity, and no trade potential there, so Talon lead in player count early. Vigil down below, not opting to try and retake that control and escapes down the staircase with his life intact, very narrowly as well. Takes some damage on that descent, left with 30 HP to his name in this. So, Luminosity in the worst position we've seen them so far. They've lost their opening pick and now they're going to find that pressure. Basement defense, it's not a gimme, nowhere near it, but it's going to be a side that is a very difficult one to break down from an offensive aspect. I'm curious to see what Talon do now that they have that one extra player to work with.
Vigil's taking a ton of damage as well over the course of this matchup, but they're doing more of the basics this time. They're creating all this verticality. Now, something you can do with the lineups now, you can get those Selma charges through the beams that you can open up that wall in towards Church, meaning the player can't play there. They're doing all the right things now, but look at Wi-Fi whip, but he's starting to sneak up at him. Rumatic, do not miss. Rumatic's misthrown. They don't know he's there. There's also pressure coming from Gary's side. This is a big retake attempt. Silent will find 1 kill. But this is really brave from Luminosity, and I'm a fan. And now Rumatic's stuck holding an angle for these players that could be coming this way.
Rumatic knows that player in Garage is there, but as you mentioned, now stuck in that position, has to hold this as a threat of that flank arrives. The red ping seemingly good, but down below on that hatch, Surf sees an opportunity and he takes it perfectly. Rumatic has been slain. We have a 4 versus 3, 35 seconds, and Talon trail by 1. They have to get this player out of Garage, do they know? He took inside that corner, Eddie will get compromised from it, but damage could have already been done. Under 30 seconds, and well, look at this on Adam's staircase, still 1 player. Wi-Fi with his shotgun locked and loaded as a massive threat to this one, and they're forced to waste a little bit of extra time, denied from that castle barrier entry in the stage. Talon with only 10 seconds to work with. Misa finds 1. Can they collapse on the site and make it work? It looks like they can. All down the Wi-Fi alone, and this case goes down. This retake is nigh impossible.
This is a really good position for Talon to be in now, and Misa will find the kill. You could argue, though, they stole that one because Luminosity did a brilliant retake. They used up all the time. But once more, even though PSG Talon won the round, it's so slow. You know, we're getting into the final few seconds once more. You're not leaving yourself with any wiggle room for things to go wrong.
Other side of that, though, is, of course, that Luminosity delayed it, and they made it a game where they utilized the best of that utility going into it. Now, yes, Talon were forced to execute with around 10 seconds left to work with before they drop that hatch in towards lockers, but you still got to go and give credit for Luminosity to make that one stick. So they still lead by 2. They have a good job so far. But Talon, much improved from that. A great bounce back from the tactical timeout. We like to see teams being able to get that tactical timeout and then win around it. Actually, we haven't seen it, bar that, on this stream so far today.
No, we actually haven't. Honestly, we've picked a great one. This is a great game to have on the broadcast. And I'm really impressed. I keep saying it. The bounce back from Luminosity and the way that they're playing now is night and day from the other maps that they've played so far here at the Esports World Cup. PSG Talon, though, you've won 1 attacking round. You need at least 1 more, and in an ideal situation, you want 2. You want want that 3-3 split, going on the defense, on club, where you're going to feel very confident. Because remember, perfect. In Korea, they are perfect on this map. 6-0. And honestly, Luminosity, an NA team, would love to be the team to make that O go.
Well, here's the thing, Gibby. You can be perfect in your region, but internationally, that's where it really counts at the end of the day. The biggest trophies, the biggest prizes all happen when you go up against everyone from the rest of the world, and this is no exception for it. Talon, though, not out of the fight yet. This is their map choice, of course, going into the series. And we'll see how they deal with this one. Luminosity, again, the confidence they have to play on these positions, take fights like that one that we saw from Crixo. I really liked how this team has played. Aggressive and confident, but also reserved in the right ways. They don't take unnecessary fights. They really have a good decision-making process so far in this matchup on when to take these fights and how to take them. And they're aware that threat's going to arrive from that Logi hatch.
Sledge gets it open, though, and that's going to leave a situation now where the defender's going... Eddie's at it again. Eddie is at it again. If the Rotero was out a couple of seconds earlier, you can avoid that.
Yep. They could have had that wall. They could have that realistically very easily opened up and done. And that's going to be all the exothermic charges no longer available. And they've got no secondary hard breach either. So what they have, that's it. So they've only opened up the CC wall. That's it. That's all they've done. And that was their only commitment towards hard. Nope, they have an ace. I didn't see that. My eyes don't work sometimes.
Eddie is only a man. There's only so much he can do by the breach.
That is, well, he's the final boss of bandit tricking game. Let's be fair.
We've seen him bandit trick once, and you're like, yeah, that's it. He's him. He is him.
He is him. He is him. I trust this man with bandit wire. He'd get the job done no matter what the story is. But a minute and 10 seconds left to go. Red Stairs going to be a difficult fight, and well, he's going to be silent, dropping prone. He's going to fall to that one, but a very quick trade. Yas will get that credit, and it's going to be a second one now as they begin to push and put that pressure straight on the Cash. We're going to be dropping on board at Wi-Fi. Can he win this one? No, he can't. 3 in a row, very rapidly from Yas, and the round's opened up for Talon. Luminosity need to find one back quickly. They've lost so much map control very, very, very rapidly.
Yeah, and they're creating just little pockets of space now to try to stay hidden for Luminosity, but this is a brilliant opportunity for Talon to get that second round that we said that they needed. It is a 4v2 with 35 seconds to go. But this is the thing, 30 seconds to go. Talon so slow once more. They're not leaving any room for error whatsoever, but they've got the diffuser ready to go. It looks like they're going to try to plant inside of Jim once more, but there's a player right by the mattress. A vault out, a jump out, anything aggressive like that could cause huge problems. Stun Grenade Stone, the player will be blinded, but look at the rotate below. The C4 is going to be thrown. They've got a ton of information. You got to get the timing right. 5, 4, where's the case going down? It's all a little too slow, a little too late. They're repositioning it. There's a drop on the hatch. Talon will take the round, and that is such a good adjustment. They got the yellow ping, and they dropped below. They didn't let the C4 come off.
Not a round for the faint of heart, though, Gibby. That was down to the absolute narrowest of margins. As you mentioned, one single drone had the information down below in bar, and that's what that team needed. To be able to drop that hatch, deny that potential C4, but they left it with around 3-4 seconds left to go, Gibby. That is a scary place to be, but they've got themselves 2 rounds. They're almost all the way back level. Looks like we've got a bit of a clubhouse cooking away here.
This is a big, big round for PSG Talon because on Clubhouse, big difference between 3-3 and 4-2. Yes, you give the defenders a bit of an advantage on this one, but when you're chasing a best of 3, you need as much as you can possibly get. Luminosity are extending out once more, and gotta give them tons of credit for this. They have been so good at slowing down the Talon attacks. You gotta give them credit. The reason why PSG Talon are executing so late is because of the roam game that's being set up by Luminosity. And almost a full lineup change based on what they've seen as well.
I like that from Luminosity, or not Luminosity, I should say Talon. They saw something from Luminosity they want to approach in the lineup they want to bring to it, so they've committed to it very quickly from it. So, question, Gibson. Talon.
Yes, Eddie bandit tricks.
Oh, that wasn't going to be what I was going to say. That wasn't even close to it, Gibson.
Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yes, Eddie is going to bandit trick. He's the best. He's the go. He's him. See, there it is.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Have you seen a better bandit trick player? Please inform me if you have.
I haven't. This is actually a clinic on how to do it.
It's a masterclass.
It's probably a clinic from Talon too on how not to avoid getting bandit tricked as well. There we go, Rider and Soldier, you're going to work in tandem if the timing is right.
Right, okay, Eddie, you are him. He's the GOAT. He's the best in the world at that.
Someone needs to clip this and get it on a tutorial. You know, one of those tutorials, how to bandit trick with Eddie.
This is a masterclass, but also you got to think from Talon. You know, there's a lot going wrong to allow Eddie to be able to do that so far. So again, as much as it's fun to look at the bandit trick and that unorthodox amount of utility he's gaining from it, question is to be asked about what Talon's doing to enable that to happen in that way. They've got the breach open on a single wall in the construction. They have that avenue into it. But again, just another amount of utility burnt away from Talon that I don't think they can really afford to do.
Yeah, it puts them in a very tough situation indeed. Now, the round's not lost by any means. It's still a 5v5 with more than half of the round to go. It just makes it that little bit more difficult. When you look at Luminosity, they've got a little bit of presence back on site. They've still got control of Rafters with the Wamai, remember? Wamai gets way more useful the longer the round goes on, as he can put more and more of those discs out there that catch things. And well, the last time that we saw the player in Raptors go down, it was because of the Capitao, the firebolts. Wamai is an excellent counter to that. PSG learning their lesson though. They know Luminosity like retakes. They're putting the Claymores down to make sure they don't get flanked.
They should do it anyway, but yes, it's going to be an extra level of defense. They need to have a drone there as well to watch that. I imagine they do in this position, but under a minute left to go. 10 players still standing vertically down below, trying to force players out of these key positions. And, well, they don't really have a lot of approach avenues here. They've got to go one way. They have a little bit of utility still to try and work with to get that wall open inside of Cash, and that's exactly what they'll do. The Salmon charge is used for that. C4 down below to no avail. I don't think they actually got that single wall open, Gibby. I think they're out of hard bridge. That wall's not open up. They've got nowhere to go but doors and windows. And Luminosity can control the tempo of this. But Misa finds one. Quixo falls. And, well, Luminosity, they should be able to win this round easily. But Talon have that man advantage with around 15 seconds left to go.
Yeah, but there's a player elevated watching for this vault, and if it's going to come, they've still got defenders in excellent positions. There's the swing. Eddie and Silent, one apiece. Another one for Eddie. Stop it. You need to behave yourself. You're showing off too much at this point. Down goes the case, and down goes Chance. Another kill for Eddie, and Luminosity take a 4-2 defensive half.
All I'm saying so far, right, every time that we've come out to the Boulevard here in Riyadh, Shaiko's been the MVP of the event. Eddie, so far, my MVP.
It's like he's three players at once now. He's Ed, and Eddie.
Shameful, Gibson. Shameful from you to say that. But, I mean, right, Talon ran into problem after problem in that round. Eddie was allowed to bandit trick away a Selma charge and an exothermic. They had very limited utility to work with in this round, and when they got towards that execution stage where they're trying to push into construction or pushing the Cash via construction, there's no way to open that wall. There's nothing they can do, so they're left to try and funnel in through very limited avenues, and there's not much you can do. So Luminosity get themselves their 4-2 split. Well done, pat in the back.
Attackers have located the bomb.
Castle skin.
Okay.
I'm surprised you haven't picked up on it yet.
CAG didn't qualify. I'm fuming with them, actually.
You're fuming.
Friendship ended with CAG.
For anyone watching who's not from Ireland, fuming is fuming, which means he's not very happy about it.
Exactly. I'm angry with them. You know what? Friendship ended with CAG. Luminosity are now my favorite team.
Another NA team?
Oh no, I'm collecting strays.
5 seconds to
But I mean, listen, Luminosity have played this fantastic so far. Eddie, the GOAT. And Talon need to be able to find a way to break this down. They move towards that defense. I think the more favorable side for both these teams going into it. So the question's going to be asked on round 7. How do Talon cope with this change? Pressure on their back now.
Yeah, and you look at the difference in style as well. On the defense, Talon are not extending the same way that we saw Luminosity. They're not reinforcing that wall. I feel like they're not feeling confident right now with the way things are going. Yes, they're castling and they're creating things that'll give them lots of audio cues for Misa to try to find these kills, but Chain's door's open. You've got to be very careful about pushing that way. There's an attacker in and around bathroom. Misa's being forced now to push further and further back, and he's being hunted down. Surf is going to find that kill onto Misa. It's a 5 versus 4, and it's just so easy, and it is because of the confidence that Luminosity are playing with.
I love this from this team so far, and they're already knocking on the door of sight, charging down main stairs, and the way they do this, they just have so much confidence in their ability. They'll get one more for free. They're already inside of sight. Surf will get that credit. The logic bomb rains out, and this case should go down. Are they aware of this flank? They might be in a little bit of danger now. Double retake, but it's going to be one more for Surf. They don't look the right way. Talon have a chance now. All down to this though. Ryder alone against two. Case is ticking away. Every second so vital. Can we find a moment of magic here? Can he get it done? He spots the rifle. He finds one more. Ryder gets two in the round. He can't stick this one, surely. Has to try and bait a reaction out. He'll try and go for it. Doesn't get pen. Ryder's going to stick this. Yes, he is. Are you kidding me, PSG Talon? How have they found that round?
Wow. And that is the problem with relying on the DMR to do the damage and get the kill. Ryder, great decision, sticks the plant, and I'm getting flashbacks already to the previous map where we saw the 1v5 go against PSG Talon. This time it wasn't quite as dramatic, but they got the job done. It stems the bleeding, it gives them their opening round on defense, but that should have been Luminosity's.
That was Luminosity's round to lose. That's what happened there. Case goes down. They played it perfectly to get in there. They spotted the gaps, by the way, that Talon left on that side. They were able to walk down main stairs and get control so quickly. The retake from Talon was fantastic, and they were confident in it. Now, your winning clutch comes down to mechanics and setup as well, but, you know, they were got a little bit lucky with that counter defuse, but luck is always going to be a part of this, and Talon put themselves in a position to capitalize on that moment. Luminosity lead reduced to 1. Talon get a very critical round on their defense to start themselves off well. Can they get themselves level here?
It would certainly give their confidence a...
It would mimic the first map as well.
Attackers objective.
I believe it does, yes.
Almost.
Almost.
Almost. It was a 3-0 lead for Luminosity instead of a 4-0 lead for PSG, but it's close enough.
Close enough.
I'll give you an attempt point.
Give me a full point, please. Please.
One full attempt point, but there was 3 going for the question.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You gotta take it, but it's 4-3. Luminosity, though, that was a great attack, but all fell apart in the post plant. You gotta give Talon credit for that one. So, we've already seen brilliant bandit tricking on the side of Eddie. Eddie is the one now with the exothermic charge in his back. Wow, imagine getting a Zofia below could stop. Yeah, Eddie.
You cannot trick Eddie. It's just simply impossible at this point.
The king of that wall. He is the king of CCTV wall.
That's his wall. That's Eddie wall from now on, Gibby. Sorry to break it to you. But job is done. They get that wall open. A much more efficient process in it from the side of Luminosity. Talon struggled with this one, but also Talon aren't putting up much resistance to hold on to the side of the map. They're giving it up for basically free, so Luminosity can walk in and take that control. They're very cautious of that potential flank up red stairs. They're aware of it at least. So good positioning from Luminosity to decide to slow down a little bit and shore up their flanks for a brief moment.
Get these windows open now as well to give you angles in the side. Again, cut off rotate points for those defenders as logistics becomes a tough spot to play. Damage dealt. Kixro with the LMG attempting to find, gets the down onto Yas and confirms that one out. 5v4. Opening pick in the favor of Luminosity. Now the C4 is going to get tossed, but it's going to be thrown a little bit too high. No damage will be found with that one whatsoever. And Luminosity are starting to get hyper-aggressive. Mira is pinned inside of bathroom, and Mira's looking, you talk about fight or flight, Mira's getting aggressive.
Not much you can do in this position. Again, this window inside of jail as well, or inside of vault, isn't going to be reinforced. You're not safe behind this. Not opening up below it makes you very vulnerable. Luminosity, with a minute left to go, are already knocking on the door of sight and providing a lot of problems for Talon to solve, and with one player short as well. A brief look at that drone network as well from Luminosity. They have everything covered, and one player just about escapes. Soldier gets one back. Eddie falls, but it's going to be very quickly traded away by Wi-Fi. With only 40 seconds remaining, can Talon hold the line? Can Luminosity get one more to their advantage?
This is a big gunfight right here. Misa's got a lot of hard cover, but the stun will force him to get up and run, and Surf will manage to find the kill. 4v2, 25 seconds to go, and it's all down to the Warden and you. But of course, we've been watching the last time. We'll get that one. There's the kill from Kixro. Down falls Ryder. Silent will kill it, and Luminosity take another round in this matchup. They'll be a little bit annoyed that they haven't gone flawless on the attack so far, but they've righted the ship. They've got their lead extended once more.
Luminosity are providing a lot of difficulty for Talon to break down so far, and it's, again, Talon didn't extend all the way out towards Cash and CC. They didn't commit to holding it, so when you give when you give Luminosity that much time to work with, it's almost like a blessing for them. They get in to get that control very quickly. They got a drone network established to watch their flanks from stage, lobby. They had all that locked down, and then they begin to work away at dealing with every single individual position. That is a very textbook round from Luminosity, and they played it perfectly. And credit to them, they get that round, and they lead 5-3.
This is such an advantage now that Luminosity hold. If they can take this round in particular and get themselves onto map and series point, I don't see any way back for PSG Talon. They need to win this round, keep that gap as close as possible between the two sides. Few things on the defense to keep an eye on. Because we've seen the bans like Azami being utilized, you're forcing the band to pick from Soldier. Will we see tricking? I don't know, but Wamai will certainly play inside Rafters. You'd expect, Whippet, normally that the Doc would play in Rafters as well to help out the player that's playing there in case we see Talon play, which we do, you know, using the Doc in tandem with Wamai.
Yeah, so we're going to double stack on that position, and I do like this from teams. Again, you can heal through that fire Capitao as well, and it will force a commitment to that play. A little bit of extra survivability is never something to complain with. A little bit of pressure arriving early. Fenrir does get droned away and can't get aggressive on that jump out, and I think it would have been a poor decision to do so from Ryder, but falls back and escapes all the way to the generator. Able to live the fight another day so far. And Luminosity, question to be asked if they can find that opening pick, and while Soldier will attempt to recreate some of that Eddie magic on that bandit trick.
Well, he's going a little bit, he's giving himself very open to that window if any pressure comes from there whatsoever, but for Luminosity, they're setting up that drone network. They've lost all their prep phase drones, but they've still got lots to work with. You've got angles being held. They're thinking that maybe Talon will get aggressive. There's the attempt at the bandit trick, but it's not going to work. Pressure from below, Whippet. That wall's going to be opened up. The Doc can do absolutely nothing about it. He tried to, but Eddie gets the kill. He's traded back by Yas, but Eddie don't mess about when it comes to that wall.
Wall gets opened up and perfectly done. The cover down below with that Sophia was perfect. That's where we saw that early drone presence inside of blue to make that one happen. Great use of those impacts. Now the player on Rafters still has two players on Rafters now. They're cut off for the primary focal point of this site. So they've got a very important role to play, and Misa needs to do more of that one. Great pick with the ACOG on Doc, finds Crixo. And well, now this is a round that's very winnable from the side of Talon. Yas decides to rotate away, finding one. This is going to be an easy one, surely, to ride out the rest of this round. It's going to be a 4 versus 1. Misa finding 3, all down the surf alone on that balcony. He'll drop down, and it's just be a matter of time until it's eventually over. Still a minute left to work with, but maybe there's potential.
It's plenty of time to isolate these individual kills, but at the same time, would it really be the worst thing in the world to just sit, you know, use up the whole 55 seconds, let the rest of the team talk amongst each other, and maybe bait a kill or two just to get the confidence going? But I think that what we'll see is one of those impromptu timeouts that where teams, the coaches can't talk, but the players can all have a little talk with each other because we're back to a one-round game. But Misa stepped up on the Doc. You always like to say he's been promoted the Doc. Well,
exactly.
He got promoted, and Misa had such a huge impact with, not really with the utility, but with the gun.
No, I mean, again, you're bringing Doc for a variety of reasons, and the stim pistol didn't work out, but you have a very good accurate weapon with that ACOG. So, I mean, this is, as you mentioned, okay, right, Ryder, bye-bye. Consolation prize for Surf, very nice shot though, but it is just going to be a little bit over. So we can jump in and just, you can see this, it's going to be a timeout for these teams. And Luminosity, what do you have to change from that round, Gibby?
I feel like they did a lot of things right in the early stages. They got the wall open. I feel like they got ahead of themselves with the push in towards Garage. You know, maybe use a little bit more utility, maybe make it a bit more structured, but didn't quite work their way. Round 10, Talon now looking to level the sides on the defense and ensure we get every single round in regulation of this matchup. Whippet, I'm going to ask you that dreaded question. Did Talon tie the sides, or did Luminosity extend that lead again?
I'm going to make a very rare statement here and side with the North American team. Against my track record, I'm going to say I think Luminosity, they've shown that they have that potential to get the job done. Now, they'll move back to the basement or attacking the basement side here. Talon had a great retake here, but they left gaps that Luminosity were able to exploit to get in the site within 40 or so seconds. I want to know how they deal with a full clear on this, and I think Talon, I think that's going to be the approach that's going to be brought out now for both these teams.
So, this is the fun one, because the mindset from Luminosity might change if Talon level things up. What they've been doing has been working. I see Blitz, I see Ying, I see Striker, who, as we know, can take 2 bits of secondary utility instead of just taking, you know, having a unique gadget of their own. And I see Dokkaebi. That means it might not be a rush, but it means it's an explosive lineup. No hard breach, apart from the 2 that Strikers bring into this one. And you can get away with it on a site like this when it's a basement attack.
Again, you can get away with it, but it's always nice to have some redundancies for that if you need it. And you mentioned that it's not going to be a rush. Can't really do that here. It's all going to be down to that explosive execution when they make that one stick.
What I think we'll see is a push down dirt, kitchen hatch open, Candela's being thrown from kitchen to try clear the player behind AKs. That's what you would assume is going to happen. Whether or not that's what they're going to cook is an entirely different question, but that's what they've got the lineup for.
I think you're right here, Gibby. I can't lie to you. So they get that one to work, though. No bodies from Talon anywhere other than sight so far, from what I can see on that. And I'm very intrigued to see how this one works. And Luminosity are moving around the map with a level of confidence that insinuates that they do know that at least, so they're going to push around and begin to work things through. We see that verticality being opened up with the hands of Buck chewing open that, and it's going to be a very routine round. The player inside the dirt tunnel is being detected, that drone does get compromised, but they now know that Misa's playing inside of there, and they can work around that, solve that problem now, as they want to get that pressure in dirt very quickly.
Yeah, and Blitz is a great operator to clear dirt when it is just a strictly one-way gunfight. Now, there is a C4 in the back pocket of Valk, but the breach being opened is enough pressure alone to force Valk to come back. If you get that kitchen hatch open now and can start getting those Candelas through that hatch, you can cause problems. Now, this is the big one. If Misa wins this fight, this could be the whole attack in shambles. Blitz will begin pushing down. There's a 2-way cross, a prone angle, but there's the swing. I love that. Because the Valk was blinded, the support came in from the other side. No kills came through, but that's great defensive play.
But Eddie was aware of that, didn't overcommit to it. Silent gets one of his own. Eddie's going to fire off and get that pick, but the cover from Kixo is there. And well, just like that, with under a minute left to go, Talon reduced to 2 players. A great read from Luminosity, a great position. Silent will get that one, a gifted a freebie from Ryder. And well, 4 versus 1, Candelas go out. Surely there's no way Yas can find this, the veteran of his region. A lot of pressure now. Luminosity, only 40 seconds away from map and match point. Talon need to find something, a moment of magic. Finding 1, 3 more to go, but Gibby, surely this is impossible, but maybe not. Second one, player on the hatch shuts it down, Silent gets that credit, and it's going to be map, match, and series point now for Luminosity.
I'd already written the win for Luminosity in my round card when you asked if there was any chance. I was that confident that Yas wasn't going to win it because of the positions of those attackers. But they now find themselves in a position where they can send PSG Talon out of the Esports World Cup. They'll win their lower bracket matchup and they can play tomorrow if they win one more round before PSG Talon win 2.
And one of the scariest places to be is in that one more round. Luminosity will know there's a lot of pressure on this. It was a disappointing result against Bliss. They came into that matchup confident. They lose. They get slapped around a little bit. Now Talon, a team that has a lot of hype around them, a lot of improvements made from event to event, stage to stage for this side. And they were 4 rounds down on Skyscraper. They've had a fantastic run since that reset. Can they get the job done here on Clubhouse? The map, of course, that we mentioned, Talon 6-0-1 inside their own region of South Korea so far.
Yeah, and that 6-0 is just 1 round away from being 6-1 and 1 loss on the international stage, which, as you point out, is the one that matters. Yes, you gotta win domestically to get to international events, but it's what you do when you get there. This is a huge round for PSG Talon, and this is just unfathomable after the opening 4 rounds of this matchup that Luminosity find themselves on map 2, 1 round away from knocking PSG Talon out of the Esports World Cup.
Luminosity, very first map of the series, looked flat, looked tired, didn't know how this match would play out, and now a map deep and on the precipice of pushing forward into tomorrow's games. Can they get this one done? The wall opened up, and a great read, realizing from Talon that Yas can't play that position. They can't try and trick it. They know as Zafia is going to be down below, so they don't commit to it. They let Luminosity in. the next stage, and this one's going to be trying to hold on the cash as long as possible. The Bandit's there to help with it. Mute Jammer is shoring this up, and the C4 ripped and ready. Can they make it work?
This C4, if it hits, could be huge for the side. Big audio cue there from the drop. The C4's thrown, but it's too quick, and it's going to be wasted. That's a vital part of utility. Look at the defensive utility. Already 2 impacts gone. You've lost one of your C4s. Kixrow gets the kill on the Rider with the headshot, and they have PSG Talon on their heels. They just need to land that knockout blow.
Attackers have located
What
a
a
bomb.
shot to find that opening. Yas is reduced to 30 HP as well in this moment. And Luminosity look all set to find it, but that's going to be a crucial one now for Talon. Soldier finds it, Misa finding 2. Talon aren't out of this one yet. That C4 is going to get that knock. DB&O on the Kixo, leaving Wi-Fi alone against 4. 2 in the round for Soldier as well. Talon are not out of this yet, and Luminosity likely aren't going to get the job done in this round. It would be an absolute Herculean task for Wi-Fi to find this. Every single body lined up and stacked, holding crossfires from Talon. No one wants to move. No one wants to be that player to make a mistake that might open the door for Luminosity to steal this round.
Creeping up the main stairs. Well, the creeping's not going to work anymore. You've given away your position, but look at the cross. Everybody from Talon is in a position to make sure there's no chance here from Wi-Fi. First bit of damage dealt. Soldier gets the swing. I said that they were there on their heels waiting for the knockout blow, but as you always love to say, as long as you're in it, you have a puncher's chance, and they landed the counter punch in that one, but they've still got to win one more round just to force overtime.
It's never over till it's over, Gibby. There's always that one chance. As long as you're active in the server, you can win a round, and Talon have done that here. Timeout called from Luminosity. They're calling a timeout in preparation for round 12, the last round of regulation so far. These teams have tested each other so far. Will we see overtime? Can Talon survive a little bit longer on their map choice? Or can Luminosity get this done in regulation and send Talon home on the opening day of the Esports World Cup for Rainbow Six?
Yeah, this is a big map for Luminosity. Remember, a very young team indeed, and virtually no LAN experience going into this. And they've found their feet from beneath them. They've started to play very well against this PSG Talon side. Now remember, even if PSG Talon lose this matchup, what they've done in the previous 7 months is incredible for that region. You've knocked Damwon or D plus Kia off their perch, and you've managed to qualify for 2 international events back-to-back. They deserve a lot of credit for that. But what Luminosity is doing is great.
It's perfectly put. I mean, so far, I mean, obviously, Talon are going to have a massive target on their back after what was, I think, a performance in Manchester when leagues above what they expected, or at least what we were anticipating for this side. Luminosity, again, this roster is an organization, again, Luminosity is an organization have not been on an international event for a very long time inside of Siege. This roster yet to do it. This is their debut here. What a result this would be. What a bounce back this would be. I was very worried after the Bliss result that this could have been a team that was demoralized and tired and a little bit worried. Their confidence could have been shocked, and it looked that way on Skyscraper very, very first round. But it's went a different way now. In Clubhouse, anyone's game. All down to this. 1 round to play. Luminosity get victory, Talon go home. Talon need overtime, or their run here in Riyadh is over.
Great situation to be in if you're a player that you can make a little name for yourself inside of your team. If you can make the play that's the difference in this round. For the attacking side of Luminosity, Ying is in play once more. Blitz is in play. They've brought the striker again to get rid of those hatches, and the frag grenades can force players out of positions as well. The frags aren't going to be there for kills, but they're there to move players, to create space. And obviously, when you have an Ash in play for Kixrow, who has been hitting shots in a couple of rounds in this matchup, you take an Ash pick, you've got to get kills. That's my mindset. Like Vigil, Ash, operators like that, you've got to have an impact. The mirrors can be utilized, though.
Luminosity, once again, they're running with that Blitz and Ying combination, looking to find an opening and fully exploit it with that combination of Candelas and the Flash Shield. Talon, yet again, have given complete control upstairs towards Luminosity so they can begin to work through the steps of verticality. And again, great utility. Breach charge on that Ash, using all three of them to carve open avenues of quicker movement, more efficient pathing for the side to use. A difficult angle held by Yas. You don't see many brave enough to fight that one. Opening pick so critical in this round, and you can feel that tension for both these teams. Everyone knows what's riding on this. Talon's survival in the tournament, and Luminosity, perhaps the beginning of an underdog run.
Everyone's an event for an underdog, though. This is the one historically. Mirror window still in place. Something's gone a little wrong there. But with a minute left in the round, just over 1 minute, nobody has taken a bit of damage whatsoever. It is set up for a grandstand finish. The blitz has opened dirt, and here we go. Eddie is going to make his way down with a little bit of cover. The barbed wire will slow the push, as will the smoke, and this is going to be a problem, and this is a great reaction by PSG Talon.
Perfectly, as you said, the reaction to bring out and play the smoke in this position. We hear those candelas happening around the map as well, but a critical fight. Misa needs to win this, needs to drag out this encounter as long as possible. Under a minute now to work with, and I think at this point you have to just commit to charging on in, and that's exactly what Blitz will do. You can't lose this one, and that's exactly what's happened. Eddie's off the board early, and Misa finding two is overtime calling. As Luminosity are down 2 players, 20 seconds remain, Gibby.
Misa coming in clutch when they need it most. It's a triple kill. Another one for Soldier. Rumatic with a C4. And it is overtime for PSG Talon. And it was the Misa show inside of Dirt that got us there.
Great reaction from the team to bring a different approach to holding Dirt Tunnel, knowing the Luminosity like that push and bring it out. Great play from Misa to find that and shut that down on an individual basis. For the very first time today, a matchup has went past 12 rounds of regulation, straight into overtime, and Luminosity, they had great momentum, great characteristics all game so far. It might change now in overtime. They let a map and series point slip. For many teams, that can be a massive blow mentally. Hopefully, not for this one, if you're cheering for Luminosity back home.
Well, this is the fun one, because both teams are so relatively inexperienced. Like, obviously, you've got players like Yas and Soldier who do have some experience. It's how do they react in this scenario now? Because if Talon can win this map, it's not a best of 3 anymore. It's best of 1. It's whoever wins on border, which we have seen today already, will manage to progress to tomorrow. For Luminosity, though, if they lose this map, after the start that they had and the finish they had to the map before, that's a very tough one to take.
Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
You can feel the tension in the air. Talon, when they got that last round victory, and they got us all the way to overtime, a massive roar of celebration from all those players. Revitalized, re-energized, see if they can get the job done, starting on the defense here. They're much more preferred side on this map so far today.
Bomb located by
Eddie
attackers.
once again on that hard breach roll, likely trying to get that opened up, and this time in adaptation they have an angle holding down towards blue, trying to deny that ease of access with those Zofia Grismots in the hands of Surf that have been so effective getting this wall opened up in an efficient manner. Great read in from Talon. Will it be a factor though?
Eddie is on the breach where we've seen him so many times, but as you pointed out, that angle being held towards blue where you would want to get Surf in to clear any utility in this position. It's a tough angle to hold, though. You're only getting it one shot at hitting these shots. He's not going to be able to land it, and all of a sudden, this breach becomes doable. Bandit is going to fall back. Now, you get this breach open. You have 2 decisions to make then. Do you try to clear garage, or do you rotate around and push over from that construction site? Because while Yas and Misa play inside of garage, you can't walk in that breach. You need to change your attention elsewhere.
I think it's going to be a rotation call, and that's going to be the right one in my mind here. Don't go all the way out towards construction and try and make that work. You still have an exothermic charge to work with. You still have two Selma charges on the hands of Ace played. And this is going to be very important for this side. Get that wall open and put that pressure on. No one needs to play by balcony on that main breach either. That's going to be phantom pressure. You have to be cautious of that one, and unless you have complete information on that, you're never too secure on what might happen. So Soldier placed on that single wall bandit trick, and this is relatively easy to do. Not much you can do as Eddie as a sole thermite to stop this trick happening. As Kixro gets the opening there, Ryder's first to fall, a second one now. Talon losing 2 just like that. And they now know that main balcony is secure, so they can play with an extra bit of freedom as they walk around CC.
The breach is open as well on both sides. There's the kill triple for Kixer on the round. He gets a quad on the round. Misa will silence, but Eddie will get the case down. It's all down to Misa in this opening round of overtime. Lots of barbed wire, which will feed information to the attackers, funny enough, but you know exactly where the player is, so you cannot let him move from this spot. Shots fired, a little step in. There's the ace, the first one that we have seen on the main channel at the Esports World Cup, and that gives Luminosity up to map and series point once more.
That is exactly what you want when you go into an overtime. One player to find a play like that, the energy this gives his team. But look at this, he's inside of CC, walked in, takes that space, commands that presence perfectly, and hunts down that final pick. You know he was given permission for that one. Go get that ace, get that one locked in, and the energy you felt from that reaction from this team puts them in a great position. They will now swap on towards that defense for what could be our very final round of this best of three. This could be Talon's last round at the Esports World Cup.
Final boss has evolved. Eddie is Bandit, but Wi-Fi is playing Tubarao as well. This could be an impossible challenge to get these walls open. But there's, in the initial lineup, do I see a glass?
Yes, you do. So Ryder is going to be on that glass, and I'm very intrigued what the intention behind this is, and it looks like they're going to be firming that choice. Soldier on that blitz, gives them that pocket of chaos to make an execution stick. It needs to be perfect against Luminosity so far.
Located a bomb.
One more round. That's all the North American side needs. Get this job done.
Are we going to see a blitz through the breach? Oh, the glass is gone, never mind. But they still got the blitz in play. This is Talon's tournament on the line now. If they don't win this round, they are out of the Esports World Cup. They're getting a little bit of information using the drones in the early stage, but as we can see, all the pressure in the early stages are going to go horizontally. Get this wall open. But it's Eddie. Eddie's there. Get some pressure below. Don't let him stand there and ruin your attack.
How many times have we seen Talon struggle with this exact moment, and Luminosity have the perfect answer for it? There's Sophia down below. Eddie is going to fall victim to that, but he's going to dance around those rafter beams. He'll get one bandit wire down, but retreat. And that wall will be opened up. Job done. Great correction from Talon, and a better start on the attacking side for them.
It's funny how using the Zofia, which is exactly what Luminosity can do, or did, can stop the trick from happening. But nobody has fallen on the side of Luminosity yet. They've all fallen back to construction now, having given up that section of space. Cautious of players maybe playing below that hatch, but it does make things a little easier for PSG Talon with 2 minutes to go. You got to deal with that castle barricade. Yeah, you can't let the defenders play inside of construction, which at that point will force them to play inside of logistics. It's, as you said, it's a multi-layered defense where there's checkpoints, there's sections. Oh, that is a great reading from Eddie. He's heard the two being open, and he knew the sledge was going to go to the next one.
Eddie is him, it seems so far in Clubhouse. Great read, great prediction, and that's going to act as a trade, get us back to a 4 versus 4. Talon got that opening in that round, but it doesn't last too long thanks to that Nitro cell. Just over a minute to work. 4 versus 4. Control of construction and cash has all been given towards Talon. One body down below Luminosity will escape detection from that drone very briefly. Might have been caught by it. That will be silent. Does have a Nitro cell to work with, but doesn't opt to play down below. 60 seconds. This could be the final minute. We see Talon compete here in Riyadh. Can they get the job done and force us all the way to 15 rounds? They have to make that crossing towards construction, a treacherous pathing. I don't think they have that decision. I think they're going to pivot. They are. A last-second call to rotate away, Gibby.
This is the change. You've got the hatch is still solid though, so that's one avenue of a drop gone, but it means that you got to pressurize through. Silent will get Misa. It's a 4v3. They've got the numbers, but can't get through. They can't get the vault. They need to create that a little bit more of an opening with 28 seconds to go. They're still thinking about where to push. Thermite's going to vault into construction. They want to assist the Blitz as they make the push. It is all set up. PSG Talon need to make something happen.
We're at the death of this matchup now. 10 seconds remain and Yas finds one. Could be the lifeline, but Wi-Fi fires back. The Blitz needs to make an impact, and that's what they'll do. A difficult fight all the way back into the Logi, but time is your nemesis. The case should go down. 000's here, but no! Luminosity get the job done. That's it. Victory. They go forward, and Talon, that's it. The run's over.
And Luminosity into